welcome everybody to Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve Markey, and always joined by...
Charles is here.
Now we have a great special guest today. We have former Westland Businessman of the Year.
Oh, man.
So,
did you get the key to the city for that? Right?
Yeah, I think you did. Randy Johnston, how you doing?
I'm doing well,
What year was that?
Westland royalty is in the house.
2014.
2000? Was it that long ago already?
Yeah, no kidding.
That's 5 years ago.
What kind of an event do they throw for something like that? Is there like a mayor shows up at your business?
Yeah, it's a mayor and the city council members. There was a state representative. It wasn't just for me. It was kind of like, an overall chamber thing. I didn't even know I was up for it, so it was a surprise to me.
Jeez, check it out.
Oh,
yeah, I was going to say.
5 plaques.
Wow. I know. It looks good on the wall.
Wow.
It's like, and then you read. That's the same thing.
It's 5 plaques.
It's like 5 plaques of the same thing.
Just keep put it in each office at VR up each hallway.
No, I just put them on one wall. I said that with it.
Yeah,
that's cool.
They gave him a little banquet. Yeah. I got to go. Everybody from VR Metro got to go. All 6 or 7 of us.
That's cool. So
he had to go up and tell a speech.
Didn't mean to get caught up in the Westland. So to your point, Randy because you guys work together at VR Metro.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, and I thought you were doing web design and everything.
Yeah, we do web design, marketing, online marketing, apps. Just trigger. If it's involved the web, we pretty much do it. Marketing
cool.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then even if we don't know how to do it, we'll learn it and sell it to you anyway.
Gotta keep them doors open.
There's many.
Randy's got bills to pay.
Many clients that come to us and you guys do this, and we're like, Yep.
Then I go back to Steve and say, Steve, can you figure this out?
We got some shit we got to learn.
Can we either do this? It'll take a couple of apps and 12 dwarfs, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we've known each other about 12 years.
I was going to say,
it's been a while now.
You know each other for 12 years. When did you open the doors of VR Metro? When did...
It was like 97.
Wow. So that's early web development right there.
Yeah, it was.
That's old school dial-up. That's 56K time.
It
was.
They had some cutting edge stuff, like the discount games. You remember the tabletop stuff, Warhammer, all that?
Yeah.
They made a giant online store for all that. That was pulling in. How much a year was that doing there?
Well, actually, at one time, not when it wasn't our company, it was actually a guy I knew from bowling. It was
Randy's always network.
They did like 800 grand on the web, and that was in like 95.
Yeah, that's huge, man.
That was a lot, and the guy's wife
was it
passed
Warhammer
away,
specifically, or was
it all those
any kind of fantasy
board game they had, and they were way ahead of it. It was featured in a book that was sold online as one of the top 10 companies, and said the guy's wife passed away, and he just I kind of let it go, and we bought the domain and ended up working with another company.
That's crazy.
Just putting it out there.
It's so weird the way the world works. He doesn't know jack about like Warhammer, and he's selling like almost $1 million in Warhammer.
And then the military websites, right? You had those for a while, or government ones.
Yeah, TACOM. We did some contracts for TACOM there.
Is it like a third party, like?
Yeah,
like
they have a
military
consulting
contractor.
Yeah, they had a
that's big
consultant, and we did 4 or 5 different sites. I pretty much did all of those, and had to get some clearance. Actually, we hosted it on our server, which is kind of
the DoD doesn't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah, no, they took everything away from that.
Wow,
that was kind of cool. That was a good time.
Because so thinking back, like that was like the infancy of the web for me. Because like I graduated in '97, so like you said, like 95, 97. That time was like. We had one computer in the high school that had internet access, like a legit internet access. Yeah, it's crazy time. So
I think I just learned about email in '95. Went back to school and
I was gonna say like you just got like a computer bug like late in life, like '95. You're like,
no, I've been in computers since '70s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you really decided business wise, this is my thing. I'm gonna trick this out. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, pretty much converted from the other business into that and saw some. I did it mostly for marketing though.
When was the last time you worked for someone?
Well, I did some consulting work in '95 in my old industry, but the last time I left GM in '85.
Wow. So you've been on your own, doing your own Randy gigs since '85.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Hey, you took the leap, man.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Now
to
imagine,
me.
what year were you in GM?
79 to 85.
So back then, especially back then, that was like, oh my God, that's a good job. That's you retire here, you get your pension.
Oh yeah, my brother's still there, man.
Yeah,
He's been there 5 years longer.
Yeah, and his brother's
So.
still there. So and then
The proving ground. So,
So he's got this solid GM gig, and then he's like, "I'm gonna open video stores."
That takes balls, Randy. I gotta admit, that does, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Randy, Big Balls Johnston.
Yeah, it's crazy.
well, here a couple little stories about that. I ended up got a partner, GM. We started it from there, and then we worked, and it took off pretty well right away. But my buddy that worked there, I didn't worry about it then, but a year later they gave a buyout, so he got $30,000 to buy out. I didn't get that.
So when he left, they kicked him a $30K check to say goodbye.
Right, a year later.
Yeah.
And also within a year, the group that I was in, they won the lotto. It was $6 million.
You're the black cloud. Never mind. I take everything I just said back.
That's my lottery story, dude. I'm serious. I'm like,
my
He was
God.
this close to a lot
I
of
would have had $1 million. Seriously. And a year later, I was like, well, $1 million. Well, we're going to make $1 million.
And this is like, so you're talking about $1 million like mid 80s.
Yeah, 80,
Dude,
86.
that's not the million we were talking about today either.
Yeah,
man.
no.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was kind of.
That is pretty nutty. And
That's funny.
and then after leaving GM, you started the video store. What was the name of the video store chain?
Well, we started out as Video World. We had 3 stores within a year. And then we had some partners split away.
Like, how, and I don't want to interrupt you because you're going.
Go ahead.
How do you find video stores? Like, were you just like, hey, I got an idea of video stores? Like, how does that come?
Well, again, the old guy that I partnered with, and he was like 43.
What bowling alley did you know him from?
No, this guy was cool. I mean, he got married on the Queen Married, had a motorcycle business, just a very cool couple bars, very cool guy, and he ended up losing everything, had 3 wives, and worked at GM.
Okay,
So he said, this looks like a pretty good deal. We should do that. And I was always up for something. Always
Yeah, it
have
sounds
been.
like you are, dude. Yeah, he's like, okay, video stores, okay, web development. I mean, what the heck?
So we did
Wow.
our movie list at GM's Computers, and
How long have you been married?
well,
How'd you get these past your wives? Or wives?
another interesting story. I was divorced when I started the business.
Okay, because that's the only way. If I told Heather tomorrow, hey, here's what we're going to do, she'd look at me like, you're crazy.
No, my wife, well, when I divorced, it was, so my wife I'm married now.
Yeah.
So I was divorced for 5 years, and I remarried her. But we had...
Wait, what? You remarried the same woman?
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
this guy's interesting.
So,
What is going
know so
on?
much
Dude,
about
what
Randy,
is
didn't
going
you?
on, Randy? You remarried a woman you divorced?
yeah.
I can't
yeah.
keep up with the tangents I'm on at this point.
Yeah. She's a great woman.
So she's pretty much been with you throughout all these Randy
yeah,
ventures.
she had. In fact, we were. I had a great car. What was that? A Regal, a black
Buick Regal?
Regal. It was the.
Those
it
are
was
good
the-
sleeper cars, man. Those things go like
It
they
was
can
a-
haul butt.
It was
Yeah.
a turbocharged
Yeah,
84,
it's
and I had a
crazy.
mini trailer and everything, and I just canceled everything and said, okay, let's take the money and put it in this business, and then we started out, and she was cool with it. We were back together by then.
That's crazy.
And ended up remarrying her about a year later. So
Randy.
I've heard all these
Yeah,
stories.
this is
Yeah,
crazy.
you know.
From the inside looking, or from the outside looking in, it's like, what the hell? Yeah.
So
it's
now-
pretty wild.
Now, he actually owned the video store that was down by us, right there on Colgate and Pelham.
It's one of our best. Yeah.
The one by the old Rite Aid across from...
by Perry's, you mean?
yes,
yeah,
it was Perry's
wow.
at the time, yeah.
The little
Yeah.
hole in the wall
The
place.
little hole in the
Yeah.
wall. He owned that.
I still have a picture of me and Batman at your
That
video
was
store.
Dean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
that
have a
was his
picture
friend Dean dressed as
With,
Batman.
no way, I dead serious. I have it somewhere.
Yeah, dude.
I'll have to look
Love
that up
to
at the
show it
podcast.
now.
Yeah. I know the picture for this podcast. We need Batman. So,
So
all
he-
right.
And how many stores did you get up to at one point at your peak?
Our chain was at 13. We
That's
had 13
crazy.
chairs, and I ran 5 of them, but I probably had a finger in all of them at one time. We bought and sold and did all kinds of.
Jeez.
There's a lot of crazy stuff in that time. A lot of different side businesses, things like that.
And this is in the 80s
was
when
fun.
VHS and everything's just booming.
Well, yeah, I was asking about it when we were kind of sitting around before you got here. Like, VHS tapes, when they used to come out, like, if you wanted to copy a backdraft the day it came out, it's like $270. Like, who's buying these? And he was saying it was really common.
Oh yeah, we paid that much. We had to buy everyone for I think it was like $56.
At the minimum, I'm sure.
right.
Yeah.
And there was more, but they did rent. I mean, they paid for themselves over and over.
And how long? Like, so you bought Batman in 1989, the big Tim Burton movie. How many times did you have to rent it out before it started making profit?
I think the first Batman it was one of the first cheap titles they put out.
Oh, okay.
So that was nothing. It
He's
was
like
done
talking
in
like
a week.
$20, 20, 30 bucks.
Yeah,
for that?
it would cost us 14.
And you
12,
charged
14
$2 or $3 a rental at the time, probably.
Yeah, we were one of the cheaper ones. Was $3. It was $2.75, I think.
So you bang that out in a week.
But
you sell it used a month from now, and
well, you figure that you sell it used, so it was very profitable.
Dude, that's crazy.
It really was.
And his chain was one of the first to actually rent video games as well.
Yep.
He had an off the back of the truck deal with some of the people.
Off the back.
Well, it's not a trunk of a car, but paid by check.
Yeah.
No, it was legit. And then we started a game distributorship, so we sold to most of the video stores in this area.
So you would then, hold on, you would get like bulk titles and sell them to other video stores at some point?
Yeah, our game business. We had a girl there that was just she's still in the business.
Still distributing games?
Yeah, she's good.
Wow.
Yeah, years later. Still doing that. Well, Discount Games we turned it into a game site, from a Warhammer to a game site.
Okay.
And sold it to her boss that left me and went with him.
Kind of did his own thing.
He did his thing with it, and they did pretty well in the game, and then she just went on from there, too, so.
Wow, this is the craziest thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
You're making me tired just listening to all these stuff.
It would take a long time.
Now, one of the things about the movie stores and stuff I always thought was cool. You said you got to go to some of the conventions. Is that true?
A lot of them.
Oh,
yeah.
that
what would a
be
convention be, though? Because you know what titles. So you see the movies that are coming out. Would you go and see what Warner Brothers is bringing out in the next year or something? What would it be?
Yeah, they'd announce releases. Like when Ghostbusters came out, they had a big thing, and they had the first time they had 3D the Blob running out in the auditorium, and then they would have stars for the movie.
They're just trying to get the copies sold to you guys.
Yeah, that was the big thing. And then we'd meet with the studios, and some of them we could buy direct with if they were small studios and other things. So we did a lot of networking and things in that nature, just to try to get a better price on a bulk buy and introduce yourself to people. I mean, there were some cool things. They did a Christmas in July where they closed off all downtown Vegas, and Paramount did that. That was pretty neat. They used to do all kinds of shows.
Crazy.
You know how fun that was?
This is crazy.
It was fun.
This is pre-internet, so you don't know the new movies as well as you do now.
The information's just not available.
Yeah,
to
and they
you.
got to go to conventions, get almost like insider info, of all the cool stuff.
Well, the adult thing was the wildest part.
I'm here for work, honey.
They had adult conventions you were allowed to go to?
Well, usually they had them there.
All right.
Not separately. They had them there, but they'd be in a different hotel and a different thing. But, yeah, you'd make some good buys and everything there. And
that's what we're calling it now, Randy, is a buy.
Well, one funny story is I got some autographs. You get autographs. So for a friend of mine, Angelo Plakas, he's an attorney, Westland attorney, and he's just a great
in Westland,
guy.
Man. How long have you lived in Westland? I don't want to derail again here.
I only lived in Westland probably a year out of my life.
Jesus Christ.
But I've been around Westland my whole life. So.
Yeah, Captain Westland. I'm telling you. Next time I get pulled over in West, I know Randy.
Here's a double ticket.
Yeah, keep it going. I'm sorry. So to your point, getting autographs.
No, so I got him an autograph. He said, "Bring me back." So I got him, and it says, "Angelo, we'll do it the Greek way." And he said,
"You don't know that expression."
I don't know what that expression
we'll
is.
have to tell you maybe. Okay. So he turned.
Oh, jeez, no, man.
That's the Greek way.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Why is it called the Greek way?
He showed it
Greek
to us.
salads? What are we doing?
No. Ancient Greeks, there was always a rumor that the men would go to bathhouses and take care of each other.
Oh, hello.
So that's
well, he knew that, but his wife didn't. He showed it to his wife, and his wife says, "What's the Greek way?" Just like you.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm not up on all the lingo.
So he showed it to all his buddies, but yeah.
So you did the video stores and everything, and then you started the VR Metro in the back of one of your video stores, right?
Yeah, again, the Westland store is the biggest. Sorry,
Westland, man. I'm telling you.
Canton was a really cool store too. That paid for all our trips.
Oh,
my brother and I owned that, and we sent my parents to Hawaii one year, and we had all the money for the conventions, and it was a nice little gig.
Oh,
that was. So,
so you started doing web development out of the back of a movie rental place?
Yeah, I was going to do an internet cafe there. I had it all approved for an internet cafe, and I did my first NT server, web server, myself. I was working on it, and then I hooked up with these young guys. The regular, they were probably early 20s, and they typed 160 words per minute, and they worked out of the back. And I don't know if I ever even told you about that. The guy there, I mean, is a genius, an absolute genius. This kid was, and it was amazing on what he put together on a web server, and could just.
Did he like to work in closets or something?
Yeah, when we got our office, he wanted to work in the closet that's next to my desk now.
So he's an eccentric.
Yeah,
very
He's like
eccentric.
Mr. Robot. You know, Mr. Robot in the back. What's
Yeah.
Come to find in web development, there's a lot of eccentric dudes.
Well, yeah, because they don't want to be bothered. They just want to clack on a keyboard all day.
They really
wow.
have no social skills whatsoever. Some of those guys.
See,
So were you just intrigued with it, and your interest was piqued with this whole like internet boom that's kind of coming around, or you kind of were feeling
interesting?
it out?
It started in 1990s, early 89, 90. I looked up. You ever hear of the info centers that are at the airports and stuff? Well, none of them were around much, but it was called a soft touch, which is a hand touch. But remember, this is 1990, so that wasn't everywhere.
Okay.
But I looked into all of that, and I thought, man, this would be great to put in my video store. Put an info center, sell advertisements to local merchants, and I had thousands
In
of
a
people
video
come-
store, Randy?
Yeah, I had 1,000 people walking through for
So
local
you just
merchants.
based on your traffic, you could have sold it to Pop's Pizza, get a movie and a pizza joint.
Yeah, and
blah.
people could soft touch and get a coupon right there. So that was my idea. So that never really panned out. But when I went to convention after the CES show, Consumer Electronics
I
Show,
love CES.
they
It's coming
had-
up right now. Everyone's beginning of the year.
and this never came. But the reason we're VR Metro is Virtual Reality Metro. So when I went to that convention,
You were virtual. That's what VR Metro stands for?
yeah.
I did not know that all the years you
Well, we
worked
changed
there.
it to virtual retailing, but
Oh.
the reason was I went to that CES show and they had this thing where you did a what is it when you go to one store to the other store? It's a
mall?
Yeah, it's a mall, but it had a contest for a
Steve, you ever hear
go
of
find
it?
an item here, go find an item there. I'm trying to think of the word
Like
for it.
a hunt, like a
Scavenger
scavenger
A
hunt?
scavenger hunt.
Okay.
So you had to go through all these stores, and at the end, whoever got to the shopping cart last would buy it. Remember, there's no e-commerce at this time. So basically, they had a virtual space where you could be a person in the grocery store. And I thought, man, this is what I like. This is what I had this is what I had thought originally. So
Okay.
that's where it started as a Metro Mall virtual reality. But then we found VRML, virtual reality model language. It never did get off the ground. I mean, the speed wasn't there. Like you said, 56K.
Yeah, totally different time.
So
Yeah.
Metro Malls is supposed to be basically the original.
You guys
I
are
can
still
shop
talking
online.
about Metro Malls to this day, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's still your baby. Still right now in 2019, it's still your baby.
Well,
right?
It's on the back burner.
Oh, it
it's-
is?
yeah.
I'm like, I've heard you discuss that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did some very cool stuff. It's too long to go into, but we spent a lot of money on it, and never got the technology quite right, to do what I envisioned.
Okay.
Although it's a very Amazon does it now. It's a one shopping cart system for all smaller merchants, and that's where Metro Malls came from. Anyway, that's the origin. So
There you go. And then from there, I show up in 2006.
Yeah, what, I wrote this down.
Yeah, he
like,
wa-
what? So here's this. Okay, he works at like Cisco picking groceries. He wanders in. What makes you decide to take a chance on a grocery picker to like be your like main?
So harsh.
Like what? What do you want me to tell you?
yeah,
I
you
mean,
need graphics.
you don't
man.
see me walking into Cisco. I mean, like I'm here for network admin. Like what the hell? You plunge toilets.
Well, he's a pretty big guy. We thought if he was out at the door, we'd be safe. So.
Oh, okay. Is that what it was? He's plugging a hole.
They keep the unwanteds out. So no, he's good graphics, and
Yeah, he's always been annoying about his artwork.
so
I'm
yeah,
gonna review some art markers later in the show. So get ready for that.
yeah.
No, I did. One of the few things I did like in school, I did make, and I think Randy liked it too. Remember the iPod Touch, the old one where you move your thumb around it? Mm-hmm. I made a website like that where you can mouse around it and then it would change the different pages and stuff like that. Where a lot of people haven't done that.
So you're talking about like a tactile wheel where you were bouncing.
Yeah, but you just used the
Right.
mouse.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you moused over it. So it was kind of unique, and I think those guys kind of appreciated things like that.
Because when you first started at VR Metro, there was the Dean guy you mentioned, Batman, as I know him.
Yeah.
And there's a couple others with you when it's kind of
J-
fluctuated since you guys have been there.
And Evan.
Tom Nix was there.
Tom Nix, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see him much, though. I think he might have been working some from home by then. Ron was there.
Ron was there, yeah.
R.I.P. Ron, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He was the
Because
salesman. He was there.
He passed away in
yeah,
2012.
I remember you telling me.
And
that,
I've known
so-
him since he was 10, and Dean since he was 10. So we've been around for a while.
Yeah, kicking
Doing
around.
stuff. So
Causing trouble in Garden City and Westland.
Yeah, exactly. In the city
Everywhere.
he owns.
Did you graduate from for high school, Garden City or Westland?
Garden City West.
Garden City West.
Yeah.
That was an old high school like terminology or something like that.
Yeah, there was East
like
and
before
West.
John Glenn came along or something.
Yeah, there was Garden City East, which is still there, Garden City High School now.
Yeah.
And
Because that's on what, Middle Belt, isn't that?
Right.
Yeah,
Middle Belt and Maplewood.
Yeah.
And then Garden City West, which is now Garden City not junior high, middle school.
Oh, okay. So they just
Now over there.
reallocated how the
And it's actually, I think, in Westland. I mean, it's right on the border there. So
Westland's
where
a
we
weird city, man. Westland, because like it's set up weird too. Like I take Middle Belt to work, and then like down by Middle Belt, like an E-course, it says like "Welcome to Westland." At some point, I'm like, "What the? How is this Westland over here?"
but
It's
you know how it
weird.
got put together, right?
No.
It's the remnants of Nankin Township.
What is Nankin Township? I don't even know what that is.
Nankin Township was the township when they didn't have Westland.
Oh,
and
okay.
It was all over the place. You've got Nankin Mills over there. We've got
Is that what they call
Nankin
it?
Hardware, I've heard of.
Nankin
now?
Hardware.
Yeah, I know Nankin
Yeah.
Hardware.
Oh,
yeah,
You go get an RC
it was
car.
and all that turned into Westland. So it's all over the place. It's just the remnants.
When I think of Westland, I just think of apartment complexes. I don't know of anyone that owns a
I
home
always think
in
of
Westland.
I always think of the Westland Mall.
Yeah.
That's been there for years.
Yeah.
And that Toys R Us was across the street from it. So there you go. We got to look at our
Well,
Randy's
but hold
history.
on. So I wanted to ask you, both you actually.
No, don't
so,
ask.
well, I just want. So like, what? So he talks about like Metro Malls is like what's a website that you both are really kind of into that you guys do at VR Metro? Like, what's the one that each of you point to is like, you know, what's a really cool one and all that kind of stuff.
We
Like,
just
what do you-
recently did Hair Mechanics.
Yeah.
We did them.
that
They're
hair
a big,
mechanics one.
big account of ours. Men on the Move, which Gary will be here next week.
Yeah, yeah.
His
he's the
site's
big
pretty
guy.
nice. Sonny's Pools and More. That's a pretty big account too. So those three are pretty big ones. You know, we provide for everybody, whatever size, and we have a budget, right? And you can't come to us and go, I need a 20-page website for $500. It's just
Some people's expectations.
Yeah,
are
are
unrealistic.
crazy.
Yeah.
And the other expectation we always have to put across the clients is, yeah, we can build you a site, and it's going to look nice, and it's going to have all the bells and whistles, but you got to do something with it. You know,
You
just
also
can't-
got to maintain.
Yeah,
you got to
you
put the
just
work
can't
in.
kick it out in
You
the
got to
water.
market. You got
Yeah.
it's market. It doesn't.
Yes.
It doesn't.
It doesn't just get in front of people on its own.
No.
Yeah. There's
No.
no mythical like, hey, I built this website. Why aren't people here?
But the thinking is, I paid you X amount of dollars, and I don't have to pay you no more, and make it that way.
Now
That's
you've talked to
unfortunate.
me before in the past. Like, isn't that where like those Google search things and all that stuff come? There's a lot of tricks to that too,
Yeah,
right?
you gotta stay-
Yeah, there's a lot. It's called organic listings. Now it's mostly advertisements. You know, when you search, you get all the advertisements.
Yeah.
And you pay to get onto those. Most of them
That's a
anyway.
Google ad rev.
Right.
That's how Google pays its bills.
Yeah, and we manage that too. I never liked it that much, but
Mm-hmm.
now you have to be a part. You have to do all these things. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many different layers. It's most of our problem is in management. I mean, is basically knowing what the client needs, seeing what's new out there, and trying to figure out, you know, hey, how can we make them better?
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, one of the things that's always funny to me is when I talk to you during work and stuff. When you guys run into some of these folks that are so computer illiterate, oh, I love it because he gets so annoyed. It's the best thing ever.
I come off pretty good. A lot of people,
and
always
he's really good. I'm the one that's behind the scenes.
He won't even talk to him. He's just like, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, at some point the onus is on the you. Like you have
Yeah.
to know basics. I can't.
Great example. We had a client that filled his Gmail account. He filled a Gmail account.
Yeah, like how many
15
gigs yeah.
of email?
But then there's people like because I see it at work too. Never delete an email.
Yeah,
Never.
well,
I
this
have
is one of those
OCD
guys.
and I have zero emails.
And here's the funny
like,
thing about it. his email is through Gmail. It's not through VR Metro. So he's calling us, yelling at us. You know,
like, why is this, bro?
Yeah, and I got to be the nice guy and be like, listen, you need to do this, this, and this. So there's a fine line there.
And we do, you know, I mean, I think that's why we've been in business so long too, though, is that it's the personal touch. You know, they know they can call. I mean, we've had people.
Pitching.
Well, no,
like
we've had people leave 2 years, come back, 2 years, come back, and it's worth something to them not to have the hassle.
But do you guys get? And I don't want to say scared because it's lack of a better term, but like. You see these things like Squarespace and all this stuff where like these people can make these websites kind of on their own.
Yeah, I would.
Am I putting the public too far ahead? Is that what I'm saying?
Most business owners are clueless.
Yeah,
we've had a handful that tried to do their own and they screw it up,
and they bring it back. It's just broken.
I mean, I've had guys call me and ask me to fix their Apple iPhone. It's like, dude, I can't fix your phone.
You do screens?
Yeah, so what do you want me to do? Yeah. And we had one guy wanting us to wipe his memory because his wife didn't want to find out. You know,
hello.
It's like, I mean, I guess.
Are you Men in Black? Did you?
He was pretty good on that one. I gotta admit.
Yeah, I found programs that did it, but geez, we get requests, some weird requests sometimes.
But you know, I mean, not to say that we've got the real smart business owners. They're the ones that know that they need. Hey, they're good at what they do. They're good at their business.
They know. Hey, get a guy. I got a guy. Yeah.
It's the in-between ones. It's the ones that really don't understand, think they're saving a buck. You know, you know, they're saving a nickel.
Yeah, and at some point
and
you're going to get me in the middle of it anyway. Yeah. So then
that's what.
I know that like you guys don't want to be like the next Ant, but like what would be like a home run in 2019 for VR Metro? Like I know the city of Westland, Randy's place where he's king of, but like I know you guys do. That's a big like what would be like a big like. What would really set VR Metro off in 2019 as far as like something that
time? I mean, seriously, we need good help. We need to find it. The problem we have is somebody. It was the knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. It's not a production. You can't just plug somebody in and inspect and work. It costs money to train somebody. I mean, we could go get out and get a lot of business right now.
Yeah, you think so?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you got to have the capital.
Do you find that like a lot now? You guys are in an industry that like attracts like younger people, millennials, and all. Do you think these millennials that come into like to interview and they're like, dude, Google's paying like 80 G's?
Wow.
You're like, well,
now you think that, but we went to the Westland. I don't know what that was.
Of course, it's in Westland.
Well, it was at the city hall, and it was a bunch of high schoolers, and you can get a high schooler as an intern and stuff like that. That's where we found Megan.
Yeah, I remember you talked to.
Yeah, but you would think all these kids are cutting edge. Oh, that ain't the fact.
Really?
No, they know how to play Fortnite, but they don't know.
So they're into what they're into, but they don't know how to do business implementations.
Like when we explain the job, they all just sit there looking confused, half of them. And then out of 300 kids, whatever it was, we had 20 come up to our table. So some of it they may just may not know what we do or whatever else. But even the ones that do come up and I explain it all, they're like, okay. And they look kind of lost. So
you mean that really exists in the world?
Yeah.
Wow.
You mean there's people that put content on the websites? Yeah, they doesn't get there on accident.
It's not all social media. It's not like an iPhone picture. Yeah.
Some kids, yes. Some kids, no. So it's not as prevalent in the younger kids as you think it is.
And then, like, and as I'm talking to you two as well, the e-commerce stuff, man, like you said, like people have to have the most unrealistic expectations about that. Like, I remember you talking to me a story like you're like, man, sell it on eBay first before you go and put like a whole, Yeah,
I mean, there's a lady 10 years ago. I was hoping she'd do good, but she had like what was that? She put transfers onto clothes and stuff like you
like silk screen transfers.
Yeah, you send. And it tanked. It tanked bad. And she spent a lot of money on her e-commerce site with us, but she didn't promote it. She didn't do anything further, and it just.
She's one of the ones like, hey, I put the money out. Where's the result?
She probably should have maybe went.
Yeah, and we could never do that. We did back a lot of people off. I've always done that because I know what it takes to build a business, and it's work.
Yeah, Randy's built 17 of them. So if anyone doesn't know this guy knows
just it
like
started with my shoe shine business.
Yeah, exactly. Lemonade stand over here is 4.
So there we go. There's a look at VR Metro. Now that we've bored everyone silly with VR Metro.
Yeah,
it's interesting stuff for me. I don't know. Maybe it's because I talk to Steve so much about it. I don't know.
Looking at my life.
Let me go prep Heather while you talk about this here.
Yeah, so now for years, and this is going to make me look like a total ass, I always claimed I could tell the difference between Coke in a glass bottle and Coke in a plastic bottle. And today, they're going to pour them in cups. We're not going to know which one's from a glass bottle, which one's from a plastic bottle. And the three of us will try to... And a can?
Yeah, I got
oh,
a
man,
can.
this is too much.
Any kind of container you can get a Coca-Cola in.
Now we're gonna put blindfolds on and drink
You
them out
don't
of the
have to
container.
because you won't know what it is.
Oh, so
It's
we're
gonna
gonna
come in a
blind
cup.
test out of the
So
glass.
Heather's got them.
Okay.
They've been in the fridge all the same amount of time.
Okay.
And they got put in the fridge at the same time. I also verified that the glass bottles is not the Mexican Coke that's made with the cane sugar. They're all the high fructose corn syrup that we all enjoy.
See, well, maybe I
So
want
it
the cane
all-
sugar.
No, that's
Just throw me
cheating.
out.
So these are all supposed to be the same way. I'm with you. Like, I think a glass bottle is going to taste better, but I doubt I'm going to be able to pick it out of this
We
groove.
can make us all look like
My wife
liars.
would say the soda. She only likes it from like.
Oh, like out of a gun or out of a
Right,
dispenser.
right.
I thought of that too because like a lot of people swear up and down that McDonald's has its own, its own like formula, and I don't believe that. I don't feel like I do, but you know,
I've always
I
heard
don't
rumors of that, and they might even put a little hamburger flavor.
So there's a little
Some bull
umami?
crap like that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's the hamburger.
They squeeze a little juice in there.
After seeing so many documentaries on McDonald's and the founder, by the way, the movie with
Ray
Michael-
Kroc, yeah,
with Michael
fantastic
Keaton,
movie.
I don't put anything past them.
Yeah,
after
I
seeing
don't
that.
know. but-
Right.
Yeah, so I went to great lengths. The other thing, and again, I'm totally with you. I think a glass bottle is the best one because, like, in my head, in the 80s, like, man, it was
Ice
amazing.
cold Coke
or
from
even a
glass
Mountain
bottle
Dew or
a
anything.
Mountain Dew from a glass
But
bottle.
that also was a bigger. You can't get like
When's the last time I sold glass with Coke?
it was on the shelf
Cracker Barrel
at
has it all
Kroger,
the
no
time.
problem. But
But
they're
they're
weird
smaller
little squatty
bottles.
bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I used to come out of the little Coke machines you get at a gas station. You know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
So-
remember the bigger ones, the big glass bottles.
Yeah, I
That's
did.
what I'm thinking of.
These
yeah.
are 8-ounce bottles, right? I think
They
got to
be like 8 or 12 at the most.
And they
Yeah.
weren't twist up either. You needed a
Yeah.
bottle opener.
And another thing I don't understand too. What happened to the bottom of the 2-liter? You know what I'm talking about? That weird
that
cup.
black cup that they used to put
What
over
happened
the-
to that? Like,
I
when
don't
did the
know.
plastic industry eliminate that? So, and then there's also the old school double gulp containers with the clip. Well, as you drink a double gulp, remember the old clip double gulp
Yeah,
containers?
you remember, like, if you order pop from a pizza joint, they had that clip on top
It
of the
folded
pop?
over. The top of your beverage container would
I
fold.
do not remember that.
I don't think
you know?
he never drank as much pop as me.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
Yeah, I mean,
Way
that's
back when I was a kid, it was always 16-ounce Pepsis.
yeah. 16-ounce Pepsis. He calls it.
He was
That's funny.
So Holly got her braces off, and she's in love with Laffy Taffy stuff.
Yeah.
Randy remembered this old Taffy from when he was a kid, so he went on a mission.
What was the name of it?
Well, I didn't know the name. Actually, I just saw a picture, so I looked it up, and I thought it was... My brother ended up telling me on Christmas Eve it was Rainbow Taffy. But the stuff I bought was a little thinner, long, and it's in a flat, just a...
Kind of like a Laffy Taffy, it sounds like.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
paper thin,
It's paper thin.
and it tastes like wax.
It was bad.
Oh, here we go. So what I did was I prepped 9 cups, all with 1, 2, and 3s on them. They're all supposed to be, so each cup.
So these are all ones.
Yep.
2, 3.
And then do you have the results somewhere so we can figure that out?
Results somewhere.
Yeah, okay, hold that. So
we
could
take
take a
a
1 here and we'll all try it. And, yeah.
I feel like you're gonna.
I got it. Just relax.
Charles was a former waiter. You
Yeah.
were,
My years at Cracker Barrel is.
All right, let's see here.
This is number 1, eh?
Okay. Tastes like a not as cold as it should be Coca-Cola.
If I had to guess,
What do you think?
it came out of a can.
Randy, you got a guess?
I can't tell, man.
What do you
But you know what? I am getting a little ting, so maybe that's...
So you
yeah.
two are cans. I'm plastic bottle on this one.
Plastic bottle. All right.
That was my first guess.
All right. So, number 1.
I'm supposed to be enticed.
All right. And then here's number 2. Take that there.
I just feel like he's gonna drop that.
Dude, would you stop?
Magoo's gonna get a Coke bath.
Is there a difference? Do you already?
See, now I taste the difference.
I taste a huge
I taste the
difference there.
difference, big
This is a
difference.
can to me. This is a can. I'm
But I don't
convinced of
know. I'm so nervous which one to pick. I do taste the difference between the two Cokes.
Yeah, there is a definite difference, I would argue, between Coke 1 and 2.
This is hard.
This might be the glass one.
You think so? Okay, so I'm plastic bottle can. Steve, you're can.
Because I like this better than I did the other one.
Oh, okay. So Randy is can glass bottle? Is what you're convinced
I'm thinking
of?
that might be.
I'll go glass bottle too.
Glass bottle. So you two are on point with can glass bottle.
I'd say the first one's can definitely, but then that'll probably be wrong.
This is what?
Nope, that's Randy's first one.
Oh, okay. Now we got the third one to continue on.
The pressure.
The best we're all gonna be wrong. Man, these are pretty
Thank
cool.
you.
You notice these are paper cups, Randy.
Yeah, these are
Charleston's
Steve's
not
cups from
polluting
last
the land
time.
with plastic.
It's a little bit different again.
It's the weird. I feel like they're all different. I
Yeah,
swear
it's
to you.
kinda weird.
Heather fooled us. They're all the same.
Yeah, you put the same one in all of them.
This one tastes closer to the second one, though, in my mind.
Yeah. So then this one, by default for me, has to be glass bottle.
Yeah, by default, it's plastic for me, unless I go plastic canned.
Okay. So now, in your opinion, Randy, out of those three, what do you think tasted the best?
I like the middle one the best.
You like the second one the best, and you're convinced it's a
Bottle.
glass bottle.
Yeah, I tend to agree with him. The only one I'm convinced of, the first one was a can. The rest of them, I don't know. But the last one, I'll
You know what's weird is, as I'm talking to you, I preferred the first one.
Really, the can one?
I think it's plastic bottle.
Oh, I think it went can, plastic.
I'm so confused. At this
Clan,
point.
can,
To the clan.
glass, plastic. The last one was plastic.
You think this is plastic, number
Yeah.
3?
Now, full disclosure, Steve drinks mostly Mountain Dew and really drinks Coke.
But the weird thing
I don't
is,
drink
I
Pepsi.
swear to you, there's a difference in those. Unless Heather's completely fooling, there's totally a difference
Okay,
in
so what are our results? Are any of us close?
those. Wait, so you were number 2. Your number
we're
2
the
is glass
same.
bottles.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm number 1. I think it's a plastic bottle.
Wait. Okay, go ahead.
Number one, you're correct.
Ah, yes.
Number one is plastic.
Number
Yes.
one is plastic. Wow.
Give me
Number
that.
two, you guys are correct.
It's a glass bottle.
Oh, I'm just glad I picked up the glass.
So you guys prefer glass
And
bottle.
the third is the can.
So are we all in agreement the third one was the worst one? I think the third
Yeah,
one.
I didn't like the third one that much.
Oh, wow. That's crazy to see. So I
We
prefer...
did get the glass bottle right. That's all those years of saying it was better. I'd look like a total ass if it was wrong.
Yeah, so I prefer plastic
But that
bottle
first
Coke.
one, I felt like there was like a canny.
It was a
flavor.
little tin
taste.
I thought at the end, but no. Guess
No,
not.
that's just all the chemicals that Coke puts in it.
Well, what is ironic though is we had the same product, all from different containers, and it all tastes different.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally did.
Yeah, there's no
I
question
didn't
about
say any
that.
of them tasted the same. I definitely would
there's
say
no
that.
question.
So that really makes you wonder what the hell is some of that stuff. When you're drinking the same stuff and it's all terrible.
Oh, man, that was cool.
So there's
yeah.
our taste test. Now we got a crazy one for next week. Do we want to preview it?
Yeah, so for next week, Randy, you're welcome to come back. I'm going to get some cricket flour and I'm going to make chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, Gary's going to love that.
Should we tell him or not tell him? That's the question.
You better. You might be allergic to crickets.
So I
I
found
swear
out.
to God, if I crunch into a leg or something,
No,
I'm chucking
it's,
that cookie.
they,
in your ass.
it looks like powder. I mean, they take these crickets and just blitz them up, man. It's crazy.
I'd do it, man.
Yeah, see, Randy,
Well, we'll bring you a cookie.
Yeah, I was
afterwards.
going to say,
Yeah.
we definitely got to send some to Randy at the office.
I've had a grasshopper before.
So you guys prefer your pop or soda, I don't agree with soda, out of a glass bottle. I prefer the old plastic bottle. Who knew?
Yeah. Well, ideally, I always prefer fountain drink with some ice.
Yeah. They were all the same temperature, so we definitely nailed
Yeah,
it.
they were.
They were all lukewarm. Yeah.
Yeah, they all weren't as cold as they should
Apparently,
be.
Charles doesn't have a refrigerator.
I mean, they got put in at like noon.
And if I drink pot, if I drink
You're right.
Coke,
Yeah.
it's got me paranoid. Soda. No, but if I do it, I definitely like a cold. Ice
Yeah.
cold.
Are you a fountain guy too? You like a lot of fountain pop or
I don't drink pop much at all.
no? Wow, that's how he's
Coffee
fit.
and
We're all
water.
fat.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, even like if I'm going to pick up lunch, like I'm like, you're getting a combo. You know it comes with a pop. He's like, oh.
An iced tea then. is what
Sprite.
he-
Iced tea I drink.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Or
you're an
he
iced tea
defaults.
guy.
You default to Sprite a lot.
Sprite, I will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is it
and
a caffeine thing?
Well, he wolfs down a half a gallon of coffee during the day, so it's not too much caffeine.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So there you go. I'm just glad I
Steve was paranoid of losing.
I had to
as
get that
well.
last one right. I didn't care about the other two.
I didn't know how much was at stake there.
Yeah, Steve's whole reputation of
I've
soda
been
drinking.
saying it for years. So now we're going to go on to some movies. And Randy, why don't you tell us, because I know you saw it with the grandkids, what you thought of the Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse?
I really liked it. And man, I thought it was really well done. The visual, the sound was crazy, and the story was really good too.
Isn't there like 7 Spider-Mans in
Yeah.
this movie?
Yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that? Like,
it
and they're
was
all
good.
different iterations of it or something.
And I took the time to go see it yesterday.
Yeah,
It's in a nice small theater now because it's on its way out
Oh,
at the Canadian.
okay.
So
Okay.
it's got a
almost
nice
about-
animation to it. It's got
Yeah,
that cel-shaded look to it.
It looks like a 3D movie
I got to comment on that too.
mixed with a little bit of comic book. Does that make sense? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, and it really does. And there's like when you're in a 3D movie, you see that if you don't have your glasses on, you see a little bit of a
Blur?
blurriness.
Yeah,
and
that
you
was-
catch it there. And then James, my nephew, found out that it's one of those movies made for both.
The best part was he went to a 3D movie and didn't bring his glasses.
No.
Randy's sitting there going, "What the hell? Why is it blurry?"
That's how the movie's made, though.
You can watch it either way, and that's how
While
it's made.
it's on, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what version you go and see.
Well, they don't even offer that I know of as 3D, do
Yeah,
they?
because there were certain parts of the movie that were blurry for me. Like there'd be 3
Right.
characters on it, but
That was you having a stroke.
well, I thought it was my bad eyesight. And there'd be one character close to the screen, and he'd be a little blurry.
Oh, is that how they focus it or something?
Yeah,
like
it's like a
that?
technique they did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
that-
very wild on that part.
but it's actual way. James looked it up. It's actually they did it on
It was
purpose.
intent
They made
to-
it like
yeah.
that so you could either watch it in
Because I
3D
asked
or
Holly
not.
afterwards, I was like, "Am my eyes bad, or are there some people?"
Did I have a
blurry?"
stroke, or was that part
Yeah,
of the blur?
She's like, "Yes." So
What's the premise of it? Who's the villain?
okay, well,
What's the premise?
is
Broad stroke.
Spider-Man is in New York City, the real Spider-Man we all know.
Yep.
And there's a young kid named Miles Morales. Now, if you follow comics,
He's the new Spider-Man,
He's
right?
the new Spider-Man that was in the alternate universe.
He's
and
also
stuff like that.
ethnic, correct?
Yes, he's half black, half Hispanic, I believe.
Yeah.
Young kid, about 15 years old. He gets bit by a spider as well, and he starts becoming like a
Wait,
spider.
a radioactive spider?
But yeah, in the meantime, yes.
Gotta get it right.
Yeah, and he had some canned Coke, and it turned radioactive. And it bit him, and he didn't know how to deal. It's almost the same thing like with Peter Parker. He can't control his powers. You don't know what the hell he's doing. So he runs into the real Spider-Man. And real Spider-Man's necessarily going to train him. And then, as a shocker, spoiler, movie's been out since the beginning of December, so I don't care. They killed that Spider-Man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Peter
he doesn't-
Parker, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
Kingpin smashes his head. Side note, whoever designed the Kingpin in this movie should be slapped.
It's not a big bald guy? It's not a big fat bald
He looks like a box with a head in the middle of it. Doesn't he look weird?
Oh man, my grandson, he's like 2.5, went and he's scared. It scared him.
Kingpin-
How'd you like the movie? I was scared.
Yeah, Kingpin looks so weird.
He's
Everyone else looked
7
good.
feet wide.
Yeah, it was just like this massive box, black box, and his head is right in the middle. They should have been like, this looks bad. We need to redesign
Oh,
this guy.
geez.
So that was the only knock on the movie I really had. So what happens is Kingpin's building a collider, a dimension collider, because Kingpin's, I guess, wife and son died in real life in the movie. So he wants to bring them back to life from another dimension. And by doing that, he opens up a dimensional way of
okay.
and that's where all the other Spider-Man come in.
Okay.
And then you get the gist. So the
Yeah.
rest of the movie, they're trying to destroy the collider, send it all back. To normal.
Go back to your own realms.
Yeah,
kinda.
Yeah. But
It looks
well
neat.
done. I thought the story was good though. I mean,
Yeah,
all-
and there's
all
a
that
twist
stuff.
in there with one of the villains, and I'm not going to ruin that for
Yeah.
people. But yeah, they should have redesigned Kingpin. The other thing it has over Aquaman, much better music in this
Ah,
movie.
that's
much
ease,
better
weirdness,
soundtrack.
yeah.
It was.
He,
Oh,
just
it
went,
was-
he said he went and saw Aquaman as
Today.
well. What was your...
You know, the funny thing is, Sherry came out. My wife came out of that and said, "I didn't think the music was bad. I forgot he told me the music was bad, so I didn't notice it either. I kind of liked it. I didn't notice.
That's
So
because you love '80s movies, and
Oh,
that's exactly what
yeah.
that sounded like.
Taking him back.
Yeah. So it was good. The soundtrack is good. It mixed in with Brooklyn because that's where the kids at and everything. And there's some laughs in it. And I highly recommend it. Probably one of the better holiday movies.
What do you got out of 10?
I don't think it's better
What's
than
that,
Aquaman. What I give Aquaman a 7, so I give Spider-Man a 6.5.
Oh, okay, so right there.
Yeah.
I started listening to the soundtrack a little bit just because I didn't know who Post Malone was.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. Holly would be so pissed at you right now.
You didn't listen to
Sunflower.
last week.
And, yeah. That's pretty good. I listened to the whole track.
So, Randy, you approve of Spider-Man? I do. Anyone get
thumbs
a
up,
chance?
man.
Yeah, both of us liked it. Now, the next one I saw, I don't think anyone else did. I saw the Equalizer 2.
So the first Equalizer I saw and loved.
Yeah, this
anytime
one-
you can get Denzel being a badass, I'm into it.
best thing they
Yeah.
do in this movie, and I loved it in the first one, is how calm, cool, and collected he is while he's cracking people's skulls. He's like 20 seconds of ass kicking, click, and then he just kicks everyone's head.
Wow.
Same thing in this one. It's a little slower than the first one.
The first one's good. The first
Yeah,
one's
I
really
liked
good. The
it.
first
I liked
Equalizer
it,
is
yeah.
a good movie.
Yeah, and this one ties in a lot to his history, his
Kind of showing you
crew
where it
and
came
stuff,
from.
like,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't really show where he came from, but his crew is a big part of the story.
Okay.
And then there's another storyline with him and a young black kid in the neighborhood. That
So
he's
someone from his crew
trying-
goes against him and blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
Yeah.
I don't have to
numbers.
see it, but I can see
Yeah.
what's going on.
But it's a good movie, and you get to see
Something's
Denzel-
happening. All the members are dying. What's
Yeah,
going on?
And he clicks the watch and kicks everyone's ass in
Yeah.
20 seconds. And it's very entertaining.
You should check it out on a Bluray at this point?
yeah,
it's a Blu-ray
yeah,
release
it's on
at
a
this
rental.
point, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I
Yeah.
saw that one. It's on my Plex.
That one I want to see.
Oh, he's talking about Glass. It's coming out shortly.
Oh, yeah.
And like Shamalama Ding
No,
Dong.
thanks.
I don't know about that one. So, yeah, Equalizer's good. 7 out of 10. Sounds about right.
So if I enjoyed the first one, I'll enjoy the sequel.
Yeah, there's nothing that sticks out that makes you go, oh my God, is this stupid? So there's that one. And then the other one I saw that none of you guys are going to see, Voltron, the last season, because I went through the first 7 seasons of it.
Great.
I finished that up.
Is it? And let me ask a question about Voltron, because I guess is it the Japanese show essentially just dubbed over or
No,
titled
no,
up
this
or
is
anything? It's a pure North American release. Is that what
Yeah,
we're
it's
dealing
made by
with?
DreamWorks. So DreamWorks makes it,
Okay.
but they borrow heavily from Japanese stuff.
Is it just is it akin to an '80s cartoon?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
It's 13 episodes. The first 6 episodes are really good.
13 episodes a season, and you're on season 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been on a while though. Well, a couple episodes
man.
they broke in half. So one 6 episodes, one 7 episodes.
At this point, who does Voltron fight? I don't even know.
It's a whole long convoluted story, but
Is it a basic anime kind of thing?
yeah, and he fights
Okay.
big monsters that this evil forces send him at, and it goes good. Like the first 6 episodes is good, but then it goes into this alternate reality, and they go into the witch's head, and it gets really weird. And
It's a little deep.
Yeah,
a
it
little
gets
deep for the Voltron
yeah,
lore.
I was like, what is this? Go back to Smashing Robots.
In the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was way more
Wow.
complicated than the Spider-Verse, and it's all got these like realms, and there's this evil witch that's.
I thought it was just a big robot that
No.
they united.
Well, that's what
What's
you.
going on?
That's what you think, but then they see the dead souls of the former paladins of Voltron, and they combine. It's weird, man. It gets real. I don't know who
It
wrote.
sounds very Japanese. I'll be
Yeah,
honest
it-
with you.
Well, that's what it does. Voltron turns into like Mega Voltron, and he's got giant
yeah, and then we're
wings.
fighting, Mega Manta or
Yeah,
whatever.
it goes
wow.
bananas. So
Wow.
last season falls off the rails quite a bit.
Wow.
I wouldn't recommend it to too many people.
Hey, but you've watched now at this point 8 seasons of it at 13
Yeah,
per
yeah,
season.
that's
You're
great.
committed at this point,
well,
man.
you know me, I push it on in the background. and
yeah, I
it just
guess
stays
so,
there.
man. Wow.
Yeah,
now this is a Netflix release.
Yeah, Netflix original too. It's
Can I watch all 8 seasons on
Yes,
Netflix?
You can. Now I'm telling you, out of 8 seasons, 4 of them are shortened, like 6, 7 episodes. So not all of it's 13 episodes.
Oh, okay.
But and there's even with the 13 episodes, it has the Netflix filler episodes. So you got a main storyline in Voltron, and then there's 2 episodes that have nothing to do with the main story, and then it goes back, on
Modern
that filler.
television.
Yeah, modern Netflix. So I don't know, unless you're a diehard like some numbnut like me that loves animation, I'd probably stay away from it. Now this one I saw on the previews. I didn't watch it. My wife did.
You didn't.
Tell us
lectured
about-
me to watch it, and then I watched
did?
it. Yeah, you said make sure you watch The Masked Singer. I was going to watch it anyway.
I think that was a joke. 'Cause I wasn't really-
Oh, okay.
so tell us
this
about
was
The
on
Masked Singer
Fox. So
Well, that was on this week?
yeah, and it was a big their big winter show. They had a big push for this, and basically what it is you got a judging panel, and you've got 12 celebrities that are going to be. And they run the gamut of actual singers to any kind of famous person. So, and they basically are going to put you in an outfit and force you to sing in front of a judging panel. And then the judges kind of go, oh, well, I think it's Randy from Westland. You know what I mean? Like they go on and on, and that's kind of the show. And so basically the first episode, they took out of the 12 people in the pool, they took 6 of them, had them perform against, going head to head, if you will. And then there was a loser and then an ultimate loser that they then revealed. It was a very entertaining show. I thought it was really good. I think it's a great premise. You can definitely see who are the people that are famous for being singers and who are the famous for being whatever.
So how many did they reveal?
They only revealed one, so you're going to get 12 weeks out of the show or 11 weeks out of the show.
Now, did you guess any of the others?
No, they don't. There's no reveal. They only reveal the one loser. So you don't.
okay.
So you're sitting there going like, I think it's like Heather's convinced the unicorn's LaToya Jackson. She's just convinced of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I
that's
mean? So like, yeah. So they're dressed up in like a furry outfit, and you got to like, try to guess who it is. At the end of this first episode, the losing person was Hippo, who ends up being Antonio Brown from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I thought it was Ocho Cinco. I really did. I thought, Heather, that's Ocho Cinco. But it is really good. My only downfall for me is that Jenny McCarthy's on it. And I hate Jenny McCarthy with a passion. And I believe she's executive producer or something. So she's involved. She came up with this premise or something like that of the show. And I think the premise is pretty good. I just wish they'd get rid of Jenny McCarthy like ASAP.
You're
because
stuck with her if she's
she is
producing.
terrible. And she's an awful person in real life, talking about anti-vaxxer people and like how all of a sudden she hates her Playboy days one week and then she's with Jim Carrey.
And her whole face is
I
reconstructed.
hate Jenny McCarthy.
One
But-
time a year on Ryan Seacrest's New Year's Eve is all you need of Jenny McCarthy.
I don't want her one time a year. She just needs to go away. In my life. But now the other one is Dr. Ken Jeong is one of the other judges who, yeah, he's fantastic. And he's a funny dude. He's super humble, and he brings up a lot of the stuff that we all bring up, and I love him. But, man, they drag it down with that Jenny McCarthy pick. But, it's a great show. I think everyone should check it out. I definitely will continue to watch it. It's great to watch it with my daughter, who's really young, and she likes to kind of, I'm before the unicorn and all this stuff. And it is tough to try to figure out who some of these people are. Man, you have no idea. They give you the most vague clues, and then they go back and so those vague clues, they also go back and show you what they meant to like Antonio Brown. Like, does that make sense? But they're so vague.
Is there any way they're going to get higher than like a C-level celebrity to be the?
I think Antonio Brown's a decent pull. I mean, if it were Dancing with the Stars, you know what I mean? Like, I think they're going to go for that ilk, and that's why I think my wife's LaToya Jackson theory on the unicorn is pretty solid. You know what I mean?
LaToya did about that level.
I also
like the
think the one
Carlton
girl
might show up, right?
Yeah, Alfonso Ribeiro's on the way.
Yeah.
I think the one girl's the Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child, I think, is one of them as well. So
Anybody start, it's kind of sliding. Might show up on
yeah,
this
I
show.
think so.
I'd love to see the list at the end of the year of who.
I'd
a lot of people.
love to see Jenny McCarthy out of a job too, but that's me too.
I didn't watch it, but a lot of people are convinced John Cena is one of them. Someone at 6'3" on the show.
I think Jerome Bettis is one of them.
Jerome Bettis?
Yeah,
they have every Steeler known to man.
Yeah,
on
I
it.
think he is.
The
He's like a
rapist is coming
tubbier
next.
deer. I think the deer guy is Jerome Bettis. But that's a whole other podcast that we'll have called the Masked Singer Podcast, which will be posted. No, I'm kidding. But it's a great show. I think you should check it out. It's good.
On a side note, the show, Gordon Ramsay show, 24.
24, yeah.
His first episode, he's rescuing a restaurant in New Orleans.
Yeah.
This is the restaurant I ate at.
When I was through the
New
kitchen,
Orleans.
it's
So
atrocious.
that doesn't
He
prove,
ate there and he decided they needed a rescue.
Did that not prove that New Orleans food sucks?
Yeah.
They had to save the restaurants I ate
I don't
at.
watch it. So I used to watch, Kitchen Nightmares? And this is basically the same show, but a little smaller timeline, isn't it? 20?
Yeah, it seems like it. They're just going to fix it faster. So, and then Making a Singer, and then I didn't watch this one either. They've been promoting the hell out of it. I think it's on NBC. The Titan
Yeah,
Game
so-
wait,
and-
is it Dwayne Johnson or The Rock?
So
Which is
that's
it?
what I was
Which
going
is
to
it?
tell. I talked to Randy about this kind
Right.
of before the show. They got away from calling him The Rock, which is kind of funny. I thought that was weird because I don't think I've ever experienced that with The Rock. You know, it's always Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But, like, somehow on Titan Games, they were calling him DJ and Dwayne Johnson the whole time. Not a lot of Rock mention. The show, out of the two new shows, I definitely would recommend The Masked Singer. The Titan Games is like American Gladiators and American Ninja Warrior kind of had a baby. And the problem is with it, so it's an hour-long show. They only have like 6 events in an hour. So like you're kind of, you know what I mean? Like you're lacking.
How much
for
backstory you get?
That's what I'm saying. Like so,
I hate
he likes
backstory.
to cast like first responders and these people who have conditions, and you know he's The Rock. Everyone loves The Rock. I mean, I know Randy loves The Rock. You love The Rock. He's the best dude on the planet. I mean, every woman wants to sleep with him, and every dude wants to be him. I don't know what it is. He is one of the most likable people.
He is.
I've never met a dude that, you know, everyone's in agreement. Yeah, we all love The Rock. You know, Dwayne Johnson, because we can't call him The Rock.
What did we do? We went through the list of movies he had out. That was about a year ago.
Oh, they're terrible.
They're
He was
terrible
like,
movies.
He's going down. What the hell?
But I tell you what, every time a Rock movie comes out, you're like, I might see that. I don't know, you know what I mean? And you know it's like
He's got one leg on a skyscraper.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
it's the weirdest thing.
I didn't
But
see it either.
so basically, they kind of go through and they're doing very strength, very little endurance stuff because you know we're the Titans, so we're doing a lot of strength stuff. It's so light on content for me. It's kind of a pass for me because of that reason. I mean, if it's an hour-long show, you got to record it because it's so bloated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're just searching. And in that scenario, in that kind of that American Ninja Warrior, I think you should watch American Ninja Warrior before this Titan game. It's not a good show for me, but I'll check it out and just watch it on
What's
record.
funny is over the summer they did a show just like that with Kevin Hart, where
but that was funnier though too. That was a little more wipeout.
Lighthearted, yeah.
That was a little more funny because we were
But it was
casting
not
like
like
everyday
a
jokes.
gladiator
No, this
show.
I mean there was a one girl who's like a power lifter. I mean he's casting some people that can move some stuff. Don't get it wrong. This chick's like squatting like 500. You know what I mean? And I'm sure Wiggs is telling you that's not much, but in my world, a girl squatting 500 pounds or deadlifting 500 pounds is a pretty real deal.
I want to pitch a show of a bunch of people out of shape and doing kind of things. Just like sitting around, see how many cupcakes I can eat. Instead of Titan games, I would just call it slobbish
And to
games.
Steve's point, you can't get away with it. I mean, the Titan games is just they are everywhere and everything like that. They are
Oh, they
promoting
advertise
them.
it.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You can't get away with it. But,
But you're the only one out of the three of us that watched it.
yeah,
so it must not have worked that
and
well.
I'm telling most people, if you can't record it, pass on it. I would never watch it live. Oh my God, it would be out of an hour, you'd see 10 minutes of actual athletic competition.
Now, before the Super Bowl, which is February 2nd, correct?
That sounds right, something like that.
Second or third.
Yeah.
Charles and I and Wiggs are going to go and see some MMA, but then we're also going
Yes.
to run a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Tell us about bare knuckle fighting.
Yeah.
How is
This is
legal?
amazing. So
Human
I
cockfighting.
stumbled upon this past week, and I've been on this podcast. I've talked to Steve at length about watching the Vice Network. None of you guys still watch it because you're all idiots. It's
Still don't know what
I
channel
ran
it
across
is.
that.
Yeah,
The Vice
okay.
Network.
So, yeah, Randy's on me. Steve, terrible. Anyway, I was having to check out
says Vice.
the YouTube channel on Vice, the Vice channel, because Vice is fantastic again. Steve just doesn't want to listen to it. And they happened to do a 30-minute video about they were creating the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. I didn't know this crap was legal, dude. It
doesn't sound it.
Well, it is. It's sanctioned in Wyoming, which the first event took place
Wyoming.
in. You got to go where you
10
can.
people in
There are
that
only
state.
two things.
And then the
Spears and
newest
queers.
ones. So I went down a whole rabbit hole this past week with Bear because Steve, it is one of the most amazing things you'll ever watch in your life. I saw a guy lose a boxing fight because he broke his hands punching someone else's face.
Oh, my God.
He laid there like this. I saw a guy have to slap because he couldn't make a fist
man.
anymore. Steve, it is so good. I cannot tell you guys.
Holly's coming with me to watch it.
I watched this Vice thing, and me being me, I was watching it on my TV, and I was like, wait a minute, like I got to be able to see this on the internet. Like, so I looked it up. Now I'm down a whole rabbit hole. I got this app called Fight TV, FITE TV. You get on there, you can download, you can watch a lot of streams of bad wrestling pay-per-views for Steve on here, like Impact Wrestling is on there, New Japan Wrestling, the stuff that's on Access is on there.
Sumo on there?
I'm sure it is. I guarantee you. Like it's Fight TV. It's like it seems like it's broadcast out of like Randy's old like movie rental place or
Yeah, it's
something
probably
like
in the
that,
back
dude.
room.
It's sketchy. You know what I
adult
mean?
room,
Like putting your
yeah.
credit card in there. You're like, I don't know, but okay.
Don't touch these balls.
So I now have pre-ordered on Super Bowl weekend Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 4 USA versus Mexico is going to be streamed live in the May Street Studios. You guys have got to. Most of these fights don't go the distance. Someone drops. They all bleed. Someone drops. It's
What's on their hands? Are
they are wrapped up to a thumb, but their knuckles have to be bare knuckle. So I mean, it's wrapped. And I'm telling you guys,
So it's wrapped. Wait, they wrap it around. Except
you
for the
can
knuckle?
wrap here, you can wrap around and around the thumb, but you cannot cover the knuck.
Oh, all right.
And I'm telling you, it's bone on bone, son.
they
It
fight
is
like 1930s
They
style.
probably go around cracking their knuckles.
someone like
That's what I
BV who is into boxing. This is the most. It's 5 2-minute rounds. These are sanctioned fights. So these are they're
Sanctioned by who?
by the Mississippi Athletic Committee or Athletic Commission,
Wyoming,
yeah, and
the
Wyoming as
okay,
well.
yeah.
It is some of the best television and the best things you'll ever see in your life. Again, someone like BV who's into boxing, because you watch these little guys on like regular boxing and no one drops. No one drops.
no.
You get those little guys in bare knuck, oh, they're dropping, son. It's
Oh yeah, and then they're
amazing.
funner to watch too.
Oh,
the
and then
little
they got
guys.
heavyweights. They got a couple dudes that look like me and Steve just showed up. It's so fantastic. So bare knuckle fighting championship. I cannot recommend it enough. I actually got into bare knuckle. There's a great documentary series called Bare Knuckle Fight Club on Netflix that I watched probably a year ago. And my wife knows that I'm a complete savage, so she's just like, "What are you watching?" And I'm like, "These guys are fighting bare knuckle. Like, this is the most amazing thing ever." And then to now realize that I can watch this live, oh my god, it's made my 2019 already. It's amazing,
I don't know if that'll get shut down or promoted more.
dude. It's got
don't
to.
know.
Yeah.
Dude,
What
you
do you
guys,
think it
I'm
is?
going to go to you guys if you're a Metro and get a website just promoting bare knuckle fighting. It is great. I'm ordering shirts
create
to
a
wear
channel.
on the podcast,
A Roku
everything.
channel for it.
Dude, it is great.
You know,
man.
UFC started that way, right? Barely any states would legitimize
Yeah,
it.
and that's what I'm
So
saying.
there's a chance that bare knuckle fighting could go.
It could go
nationwide.
either way, dude. It is on
Yeah.
a knife's edge. Because
Yeah, it could
so
go
this
Japan.
the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 4 is taking place in Cancun, Mexico. So we're already leaving the States. I don't know what happened
Oh,
or
man,
whatever.
they're gonna throw live
And
chickens
like
in
in
there.
that documentary, that half-hour documentary on YouTube, they show him get like served papers and stuff. So someone's suing him for something. I don't know.
wow.
Get it while you can, folks. I literally have already bought the first 3 pay-per-views that already aired, and the 4th one we're going to watch live. It is great, man. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. If you're a savage, get on board. It is
They
amazing.
should change it to the Neanderthal.
I'll have to look it up now.
Dude, it's great. I'll show you after this, guys. It is awesome.
I used to back in the videos use the Hagler Hearns and Hagler Leonard sites. Man, those were great.
Yeah, Randy bootlegging. All right.
So what is the news on the cord cutting? They're
Yeah, so cool thing for cord cutters out there. I just got an email a couple weeks ago. So if you subscribe to DirecTV Now and then have AT&T Internet, they removed my data cap. So like one of the things that always had me concerned with going to these streaming services and all this, so if you had like YouTube TV or Hulu TV and all this kind of stuff, is the data cap stuff. So I always still used my antenna for a lot of stuff. I kind of got away from that and went mostly DirecTV for it because the AT&T was like, hey, if you got both of our services, you can use whatever you need to. There's no that 1,000 gigabyte data cap
Oh, really?
that a lot of these ISPs are forcing people to have. Yeah, it's pretty awesome stuff. And I just wanted to bring that to people's attention. If you're considering cutting the cord, you know, you couple the two together. That's a really good deal. So
Charles always looking for ways to cut.
It's
off
awesome.
Oh, yeah,
that cable,
yeah.
Stay off that cable. teat.
stay away from Comcast.
So we have a returning segment that disappeared for a while because the last couple of weeks really nothing came out. It was the holidays, stuff like that. So we're back to rapid fire now. Randy, you know, kind of have the gist of this. I'm going to give you a new movie that comes out, and all you have to say is yes, I'll see it, no, or what? What the hell is that? Some people include maybe, but it's not supposed to be in it. So we're going to start off with a new movie coming out at theaters this week. There's 2 of them. This one's called The Escape Room. It's an extreme escape room that tries to kill you.
It's a Saw. It's a horror movie.
It's a horror movie, but I don't think it has nothing to do with Saw.
Is it like a
They take
horror
12
porn or Saw? Like,
They take 12, 20-something-year-old people, stick them in a room, figure out how to get out of this room or the room explodes.
Oh, wow.
One of those deals.
No.
No.
Any names in it?
No.
The redheaded girl from True Blood.
Randy's out.
That's about it. For me, it's a no. Randy, what do you say about that movie?
I say no.
And now,
it's not
Charles?
I'm a no. I didn't know anything about it. Honestly,
I've
I didn't
seen
hear.
some-
I heard about it.
Yeah,
I think someone like Bert's into it. I'm sure.
Yeah, he probably watched it. but
Horror guys.
There are a couple commercials for it. Now, this next one's a Chinese movie. I'm not even sure it's a sequel to something.
Mojin?
Worm Valley. It looks like a Dragon Ball Z came to life type kind of medieval war. No, I don't know.
What?
That's
And I'm a what on Randy's too as well. Yeah, Mojine.
Yeah, so that's at the movies. Now on Blu-ray, you guys will probably all heard of these. The first one is Bad Times at the Old El Royal. It has
It's got
Thor,
Jeff Daniels in it.
A ton of people in it.
It's got.
I'm a yes because I'll
John
watch
Hamm.
anything.
Yeah.
Randy?
Yeah, I saw that too. I was kind of interested in it.
And I also think it's a Coen Brothers movie. I could be wrong
it's
on
one of
that
those
too.
quirky
I'm
ones.
a definite yes on that.
Next one
I wouldn't
is-
see it in the theater, but I definitely am interested.
yeah,
in it.
Well, these are on Blu-ray, so you can't see
Yeah.
it in theater already. So the next one is Kevin Hart's back with Tiffany Haddish. It was that Bad Comedy Night School that came out back in September. I'm a yes. I'll watch anything on Blu-ray. Randy?
That's
I
how
don't
he
know.
had successful
yeah,
rental businesses.
I mean, I like Kevin Hart, so yeah, I'd probably
Yeah.
watch it.
I'm gonna wait for HBO on that one. No, thank you.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Now this next one is called AXL. It was a sci-fi movie. It came out probably in August. It was very low budget. It had like a robotic dog and stuff. I saw like one. quick
Oh,
one.
I know exactly. This is terrible.
Yeah, I want to say
I know
no on
exactly
this.
what you are,
Randy,
Yeah. He
are you
had
gonna
like
see
a
AXL?
Well, I won't rent it. I probably watch it
You
on
will
Netflix
catch it
or
late.
something.
You'll catch it late on the
Sci-fi,
cable.
you
Oh
know.
my god! But yeah, he's got like a robotic dog. It
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
so bad. I'm a definite no on this one.
And this last one, this is carrying on the legend of John Cena.
Yeah,
This
the
is
Marine.
a WWE movie, The Marine 6, starring
Who?
The Miz.
Oh, the Miz.
The Miz.
I
is
wonder
in
who
this.
was in it.
No, because all 6 of those suck. Randy, will you want to see The Marine?
What?
I know what the
I don't know.
Marine
I
is.
don't
I'm
know
with
what that
Steve
is.
on this one. It was a John Cena vehicle for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a no.
Yeah. Now, new to streaming, actually, 2 of these are from Amazon. The first one's Beautiful Boy. Steve Carell is a father of a,
I was gonna say,
a
give me
drug
30
addict,
seconds on
of
that
a
one.
drug addict son.
Are we still on? Hold on. Are
He's
we
still
still
on-
a serious Steve Carell?
Yes, Steve Carell keeps doing
What happened to
serious
Michael
movies.
Scott? Why can't I get funny Steve Carell?
I
wouldn't
don't
think
know.
I might watch that, but no.
Beautiful
I'm a
Boy is the name of it on Amazon. I'm a no. Randy?
I'm a no.
I'm a no. I want funny Steve Carell so
He's
bad.
still doing his Hallmark Steve Carell right now. This one I just saw the
Point.
previews for. It's a comedy kind of about a little girl in 8th grade and life in 8th grade. I kind of want to watch it with Holly just to see how legit it is. It's called 8th Grade. Yeah, it's about
Is
a little,
it documentary or is it scripted?
No, it's a scripted movie about a kid's life in the 8th grade, and she's a little nerdy girl, I guess. Kind of right up Holly's alley, to be honest with you. So I'll probably watch it with Holly, so I'm a yes. Randy?
I might watch with my grandkid. You
How
know.
old's your grandkid?
Which one?
Oh wow, you got grandkids,
Lots of
huh?
them.
Yeah.
Well, she's 9. She's in Virginia right now.
Oh, wow.
But yeah.
And Charles?
I'm a no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now T Swizzle's back in a giant tour movie on Netflix. Taylor Swift Reputation Stadium Tour. Netflix. No, but
Is it a concert or is
Yeah,
it
it's
like
just
a
a
behind the
concert
scenes?
movie.
No, I saw it yesterday. I was going through Netflix. I didn't watch it. I saw it.
Randy
He's
watched
already-
that.
he's a
No, I
yes.
saw the. I don't know.
Oh,
So I'm a no. Randy, are you yes?
No.
Well,
I'm a what? I didn't know what it was.
it's just a concert movie with Taylor Swift. Now some of these songs that came out, I have no idea what any of these are. Chrome Sparks, Be on Fire. I know because I don't know what it is. Ready?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Tank Washington. He looked like a rapper. 183. No,
No.
What does 183 mean?
I don't know, but that's his.
I'm a
name
no.
of- I'm guessing it's
Yeah.
a cop code for something.
187. I thought was like.
Well, maybe 183 is something more mild,
Oh,
like
wow.
spray painting a wall or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's for tagging.
And then Pleasure Venom I had to put on there because that is the best name. The name of the group is Pleasure Venom.
What do you think? Is that alternative? What's Pleasure Venom?
It's got to be alternative, right? It's a no, but Randy, you want some Pleasure Venom?
That sounded weird.
No,
That sounded really creepy.
Yeah, it does sound good.
I'm a no on
Turn on
Pleasure
my
Venom.
creep factor on that.
Someone's gonna watch this YouTube video and get pissed that we
saw that,
denied Pleasure Venom.
Yeah, we got a couple
I
comments.
saw that Brooklyn Nine-Nine commercial. I thought that looked funny. I've never watched the show.
You haven't watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
But
It's
it
an
was-
old
looked
Fox
funny.
show
Yeah.
that got so it's by the same creators of The Office, Parks and Rec,
Okay,
all that
right.
stuff, and it's about a precinct in Brooklyn, and it's got Andy Samberg in it. It's not as good as The Office or Parks and Rec, but it's a
Okay.
decent show.
I catch it on TBS a lot, like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
To me, like 2 or 3 episodes are really funny, and then a couple episodes are kind of It's
Yeah.
very up and down.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you like Andy Samberg?
Yeah.
And then you'll
yeah,
probably
you'll like it. It's a good show. I think it deserved to be rescued. I don't think Fox should have canceled it.
Yeah,
would be my 2
yeah.
cents.
Comparing to some of the crap Fox has. I mean, a Secret Singer and
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay in 72 different shows. So we're going to do our final recap here of the college bowl picks because college season's winding down.
And we got one
that
game
episode,
left. Yeah.
Charles did redeem himself some. He did get in the double digits with 21 victories.
21, baby.
But,
out of how many games were there total? Did we ever?
I don't want to count all these.
Just all
It's
of,
like,
36, 37?
yeah,
Had to
somewhere
be.
in there.
Yeah.
One,
You don't got to
two,
count them. It's
three,
fine.
four,
I just was
five,
curious.
But that still puts him in dead last.
Yeah.
Following up the rear is Bill Vicious with 23 victories.
Act like I got smoked, though. Yeah.
You were at one point, Charles had like 7. Everyone was like in double digits.
My Big Ten hatred helped me.
Yeah, he came back near the end. And then tied for first is Wiggs and I at 25, but I foolishly kind of went the Notre Dame route. Wiggs took Alabama. So if Alabama wins, Wiggs wins it all. And the best part, he wins nothing. He just wins.
He gets bragging rights
bragging
next
rights.
year.
Yeah, bragging rights.
It's a gentleman's wager.
Yes. But there you go. There's a look because college football is rolling down. Anybody want to talk about the game Monday? Does Clemson?
I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a great game. I really do. I have high hopes for that game. I think it's going to be the way Clemson looked against Notre Dame. I'm telling you, it's going to be a good game. I really do.
And Randy, you going to watch that game?
Yeah, I probably am. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Sure.
They're saying they're having trouble selling all the tickets.
It's at Levi Stadium in San Francisco, correct?
I thought it was in Arlington, Texas.
I don't know.
Well,
Nonetheless,
that's
yeah. So we got one or the other. Nonetheless, why are they having trouble? What's
Yeah,
the theory?
why?
Because of good
The theory is
Bama fatigue.
Yeah, Bama and Clemson fatigue. So
Yeah.
it's not even sold out at this point, and then they had to lower the ticket prices to get more sold.
Well,
So-
and I brought this up because
Surprises me though.
Yeah.
does anyone in this room think is this machine going to keep rolling, or do you think that there's some people that are really on the cusp? Do you think that Oklahoma and the Georgias, well, Georgia took a step back obviously versus Texas. Do you think Texas? Do we think that this is going to be a while? I mean, at this
when
point,
Saban retires,
you think that the wheels will fall off then? And do you think
Yeah.
that's coming up shortly?
I don't know. Well, he's 65, 66, right?
Pete Carroll's like 80. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how physically,
I don't know. Unless they get busted for sanctions, one of them, there's no
you're
stopping
saying-
them.
Unless all the grades come out.
Yeah, all of a sudden everyone finds out that half of
I don't
Alabama
know, man.
Yeah,
aren't
I'm
even
so over
enrolled.
Alabama though.
Yeah, you're in the fatigue situation.
Yeah,
there.
it's like, I respect what they've done. Who doesn't respect it? And
Yeah. It's
unbelievable.
Everybody wishes
Yeah,
it
it
would
is.
happen to. It's all right though when Brian Kelly leaves for the NFL and we get Herb
Tampa.
Meyer at
They're
Notre
saying
Dame.
Tampa's supposed to.
Yeah, and Herb Meyer steps up, gets his brain cyst removed.
Dude, I don't
comes to
know,
Notre
man. I
Dame.
think Herb's done.
I don't care. Let him cheat for Notre Dame. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know they all
So-
cheat. I just want them to cheat better for
So
my
you
team.
don't think? So you think that the Bama train's only going to derail if Saban leaves?
If he leaves or they get busted for something.
Oh wow! And you're convinced? You always break BB's balls about that. You're convinced it's a matter of
I've
just
had news reports. There's one, I forget, I don't know if it was a quarterback or some player for Bama, where allegedly he was working for some dealership, and he never showed up to work. They just cut him a
I
check.
heard about that.
Yeah, there's a lot
I
of
did.
but all of Alabama will cover for you, unlike Ohio State. where
when you're in the
everyone's out
programs,
to, yeah, everyone's out to kill you in Ohio State. So it's going to take a while, but there you go. College football wrapping up. And,
Who do you got in the title game? You think Bama,
Yeah, I think Bama.
Randy?
Probably Bama. I'd like to see Clemson.
I just want to put
know.
Clemson for some juice, man. I just
Yeah.
want to see someone. And Clemson's not an underdog by any stretch, but like
When Bama scored 28
just to watch
points,
BV flounder a little
Yeah.
bit.
When
Yeah.
they scored 28 points in 28 seconds against Oklahoma, when I blinked and it was 28-0, I was like, Jesus. So that was kind of crazy. So there's a college football. Now, here's a lead in. Now, every time college football and football season starts winding down, once a year I like to find some crafty object to do. Last year I sculpted a Batman. It looks like I needed special needs.
Yeah. Sculpting clay is tough.
Yeah, sculpting clay. Not
was
my
pretty
thing.
funny.
Yeah.
So I'm going back to what I like to do is drawing. And then with that being said, we're going to lead right into my new review. The Chameleon Art Marker. I put up a video on Facebook and YouTube of it. They're about this long.
Why are they so long?
Because they have now here's the...
Are they
the-
dual tipped?
Yes. So when you use Copic markers, which are $8 a piece, and these are the...
Wait, what
top
happened to
line ones,
Prismacolors? I thought you were
they're
king
still around.
Prismacolor.
They're still around, but Copic came out... It's all about the blending.
Being able to like create shading within that.
The one that does the worst is Prisma, so you got to get away from Prisma. But the Chameleon marker, the gist of it, if you have a gray marker, right? And you ever see, you know what a gradient is,
Yep,
right? Where it's light gray, medium gray, dark gray.
So
and it
based
looks
on
smooth.
pressures, you should be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, with this marker, you take the tip, you stick it in there for 10 seconds, the part of the marker, and you take it out, and then you color. You'll see it'll be light gray, darker. It'll make a gradient on its own with one marker.
Oh, really?
Yes, but
No pressure adjustment or anything
No,
like that?
none.
It's purely just baked into
what,
the...
yeah. So what the chamber, they call it the chamber.
okay.
It sucks some of the ink out of the tip of the marker.
It just creates like a light
Yeah, so
portion
then
of
it creates, and I've tried it out. So like Mega Man, I made a Mega Man. So he has blue armor, right? So you
Okay.
want like the lights here.
Yeah,
so you
as
want
it-
light
your
blue
light
to
source is
darker,
affecting
yeah.
that
and you could do that with one marker. So that's what's cool about it.
Is
Whereas
there a
Copic-
learning curve
Yes,
attached?
of
There's
course,
got to be
yeah,
a huge learning
yeah,
curve attached to
there
that.
is. Yeah,
Because you don't want to suck out too much because then you lose all the...
So
Right.
they say for anywhere 10, 15 to 35 seconds. You don't go past 35, then it sucks too much ink out of the marker.
Jeez. But then now let me ask the question: What kind of... You just got these?
Yeah, Holly
What
bought
kind
me a
of
set for Christmas.
What kind of longevity are you going to get if you're sucking the ink out of them?
Well, that I don't know. I'll let you know. In the future. Most of the people I know it has them, and the reviews I saw, they say they last quite a while. So,
Oh.
and I don't color that much. I still color mostly on the computer, but
Okay.
when I do color on the hand markers, I like them because here's the thing: with Copic, $7 a piece, you got to buy 3 gray markers to get that gray. Chameleon, you buy 1 marker. So
How much is that one marker?
They sell them in packs. They don't sell them individually.
Okay.
So the pack of 5 is $24, but then you get 40% off at Michael's or Hobby Lobby.
But so retail wise, you're looking
you're
about
saving a
$5-6
couple
bucks
bucks,
a marker.
Yeah.
And then you're buying like this system. So what's the thing that sucks the ink out of it?
That comes with it automatically.
Oh, okay. So that's in that pack.
Yeah, it's all in
Okay.
there. So nice markers, and there's a cheaper route than Copic is what it boils down to. Is cheaper than Copic, and it does it differently. So you're using one marker.
Sounds
with
like a
that
better
thing.
value.
Yeah, it's a much better value than Copic.
I'll be curious to see, and maybe we'll
How long
check
they
in on it
last.
later.
Yeah.
See if
Sometime in the summer I'll try.
because
them
markers
again.
are tough, man. They're expensive, and then they also have they have a shelf life. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
you can only get so long.
Oh,
out of
yeah,
them, and
yeah.
then it's like, oh, this is dead.
So that's what I'm back to for my art craft this year. I'm getting away from the sculpting. After I went, Batman,
Yeah.
I need to go back and start drawing again because that Batman was terrible.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's what the art markers are, and we have it on our Facebook page and our YouTube, and people can check it out. So some people may not know, Charles is on a health kick thing.
I've told you before, I hate my blood pressure medicine. It's I don't like it. I don't want to be on it. I could put the fork down and I'm working on that. That's a whole other conversation. I got to get back in the gym a little harder and stuff like that. I'm
It's
not.
so hard to
I'm,
get in there.
When did
Yeah.
you start taking blood pressure medicine?
I've been on it for a couple years now, about 2 or 3 years, I'd say, and I just don't like it. It's something about my psyche. It's just it wears on
We
me.
gotta
It's just
get
a
back to
sign
some
of
racquetball. Speaking of which,
yeah. You guys
we haven't done it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm feeling tubby.
So, in my research of that, one of the big things that they talk about is like sauna use. So sauna use apparently over time shows a very good effect in your body's ability with red blood cells and everything to actually kind of help your blood vessels dilate a little more and create that blood pressure lowering effect. So I went down a whole rabbit hole because I'm Charles and I always go way too far. I've got a 3-person
I hear it all.
sauna. Yeah. I got a 3-person sauna downstairs that I just picked up from
Right now,
Costco. Yeah, it's already
Okay.
downstairs.
You built it?
Well, it's already there. It didn't take any time. That's what I was going to talk to you about today. So it's called the Dynamic Bellagio 3-person, and I got it on sale for $1,300. It's normally $2,000.
You spent $1,300.
Yeah, I'm a crazy person. We already had this
I
conversation.
told them those closeout ones.
Oh, what?
Oh yeah.
Oh, well.
I don't know if they'd fit in his basement though.
Yeah, so basically this thing came on a pallet, came from Costco. I didn't pay for shipping because it's Costco and you never pay for shipping.
Now it's got the rocks in them? Or?
No, it's so this is an infrared. So what
Okay.
it uses emitter panels all throughout. I had this thing at 135 degrees. I've used it twice so far. Putting it together was really great and really fantastic. It all just kind of keys in together. It's kind of like a
Nice.
crazy Lego set. It's not that, and I'll show you guys afterwards. It's it looks way fancier than it should be in my house. Let me tell you. And it's awesome. So I sweat like you would not believe, man. I was juicing. The weird part is I think my wife is kind of dead. She didn't sweat hardly at all. I'm pouring buckets of water, just dripping sweat. We did it twice for about 20 minutes apiece.
Now, do you do it naked?
I did it the first day with just a towel on, and then I came up here and took a shower, and I'm like, I don't want to keep using like 75 towels. So the next day I just used shorts. I had some gym shorts I put on and got down there. And I mean, I poured sweat, Steve. And Heather literally just had a few beads on her upper lip, and I'm like, how is this possible?
Oh, is it a dry sauna then?
It's a completely dry sauna, and it's it's an infrared sauna.
Okay.
It's fantastic. I love it. I'm going to continue to use it. It's neat to have it in our house. It's nice for me and my wife, too, because we can just check out. Lauren is up here yelling. Magoo's up here scratching. We're just like, hey, we'll see you in a half hour. We disappear. The only other thing, too, is it takes like an hour to heat up. So you got to turn this thing on, and we'll see in a bit, and then you kind of go and do your thing. I so far I thoroughly enjoy it. I don't know what my first DTE bill is going to look like when this thing comes in.
I would be curious.
I had to run
$1,000.
Yeah, I had to run its own outlet. Like it has its own 20 amp outlet that runs to it that I was able to do on my own.
Is it regular 110 or is it?
It's 110 volts, but it's a 20 amp outlet. It's got a kick blade on the and everything like that. So, but it's fantastic. So I will continue to use this in my hopeful goal of getting off my blood pressure medicine, and I'm going to put the fork down before Wiggs is shaking his fist at me. I got to lose some weight. I got to get everything, but I got to get 2019. I want to get off my meds. So.
You have to change the name of the podcast then.
Yeah, well, that's okay. We'll still be two fat guys. I don't care.
Just let me. You can keep the name. So there you go. Charles is insane. $1,300.
Hey, you're not going to bring up the other thing you guys were going to do or no?
So we went
The craziest thing I've heard.
yeah, so
Freeze
with the holistic thing, I got to turn off Joe Rogan. We talked about this already.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan is a complete scourge on my life.
Randy, by the way, if VR Metro, when you see me with the headset on and I'm working with the headset, that's what I'm listening to is Joe Rogan's podcast.
Is it really?
Did you listen to the one about
long.
the performance enhancing stuff with John Jones? Did you happen to catch that?
I might have
one?
missed that one.
Oh, it's amazing stuff. Anyway, I'm not here to promote Joe Rogan, but I do love that show. And he's a scourge on my life because he's got me doing the dumbest shit. So we did a sensory deprivation. We're going to have Scott from the Float Institute on in a couple weeks.
Yep.
That's because of Joe Rogan. We definitely have thoughts on that. We'll hold off and we'll talk with Scott and all that kind of stuff because we made a new friend over at the Float Institute in Sterling Heights. And then we're also on the agenda, aside from the sauna and the sensory deprivation, we are going to go do cryotherapy.
The funny thing is, I don't know why I keep saying we, because I didn't find any of this. This is all his idea.
So
we're going to go freeze our nuts.
yeah, so basically from the neck down, you go into like negative 200 for a few minutes, and we're doing that. So
You guys are crazy.
What is this?
Whatever, Randy. You want to come with us, Randy?
Hell no.
What is this supposed to do for us?
So it's another one of those things that works on like joint inflammation and all that kind of stuff. So as your knobby knees are starting to struggle and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be good for you. So we're going to get in there. It's going to be about all that inflammation. We're going to knock that out and make you feel better. 2 minutes to a healthy Steve. That's what we're going to do.
Well,
So cryotherapy, here we
the easy
come.
route's always the best for me.
Where we stand there for 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is going to be great. I'm going to have frostburn on my balls.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be crazy.
Unbelievable.
So
First time you told me, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
Randy's coming with us. We're official.
about once a week, I walk into Randy's office and go, you're not going to believe what Charles wants to do this. I mean, when I had to tell him we were going to go floating on that one Monday, Randy's like, what? I said, yes.
Dude.
Swear to God, we're going to float.
He wants to come with us.
Yeah,
It's okay, Randy. You're always welcome to come.
Well, last one this fall, you said flag football. I said, oh, yeah. And then
Yeah,
I
what
forgot how
happened to
old
that?
I was.
I couldn't get any. It was just I couldn't get enough people from work and everything like that. But
fell
we're,
off.
we're still gonna get that together in the spring or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But we're all gonna be too busy watching the American Football Alliance or whatever. Did you guys see the commercials for that too?
I haven't seen any
There's a
commercials
weird
yet.
G League thing happening on the NFL. It's got a
Yeah.
lot of names attached
And then you got
to
the
it.
XFL coming the year after.
Oh, that's what I thought you were talking about. It was
Yeah.
SFL.
Oh, okay.
Someone just wiped out back then.
Yeah, so that's a weird one. So we'll be watching the American Football Alliance and
Well,
going to play some
it's
flag
funny you
football.
say that before we get to the G League. The real NFL playoffs have started.
Yeah,
this weekend.
it's going in behind us. What's the score? Give me that score as I'm kind of facing the wrong
10-6, I think.
Yeah,
10-6
10-9,
Philly
I believe.
still. Oh,
Yeah.
10-9 Philly over Chicago
Oh,
late on a
They
Sunday.
just kicked the field goal.
I
right?
got it. Okay. Oh, they
Yeah,
did.
Is
Okay.
it 10-9?
Okay,
Yeah.
10-9.
That's
Not a lot of
battle.
offense on this Sunday here
No,
in the NFL.
no.
I'm telling
offense you
you.
heard about has disappeared. I will say the Ravens are retarded. Yeah, the score looked close at the end,
Dude.
but how do you not pull that quarterback?
Dude,
at some
Lamar
point?
Jackson had to sit
Did you watch
down.
that game by chance, Randy? The Ravens.
No, I didn't. I was
Oh,
He was too busy trying to find my house.
He had 6 yards passing at one point in the third quarter.
It was
no.
the most putrid offense. I mean, it was worse than Michigan State
How
offense.
is that better than Flacco? I have no idea.
How do you not? And I wonder who's the general manager for the Ravens right now. Have they basically read Harbaugh the riot act? Like, hey, look, he's our future. You can't put in Flacco.
They must have.
Short of an injury, they just won't go to him.
They didn't want to put Flacco in there because he's still, if he gets in there and gets hurt, they can't trade him, right?
Yeah.
If he gets all, and who's going to want
He's
a
worth
broken
more
Flacco?
as a
Healthy.
and I don't know, man.
But more that guy was terrible. I mean, the score looked close in the end because they scored a late meaning, just like the Seahawks and Cowboys. You guys watch that one?
Yeah, I thought that was a great
I
game.
saw that
I
one,
enjoyed that
That
game.
wasn't
Yeah.
as close as the score made out.
I tell you this much, I would have taken Seattle going into that game.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really would
I
have.
would've.
Yeah, especially because Seattle always plays rock solid in those wild card games. A fact of Pete Carroll won like 6 wild card games or something crazy.
Yeah, no, I think that's the first time he's lost.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This
stuff.
one was 22-24, but it was
First
really
game, I mean.
24-14.
Ezekiel Elliott, man. I know a lot of people don't want running backs in modern, pro football or whatever, but
he's
dude,
good.
he
He's
is so
legit.
good, man.
That quarterback isn't, though.
Dak Prescott, yeah, his
he's
Mississippi State for you right there, Steve. You're a big
anything
fan.
from Mississippi sucks. I keep saying that all the time.
Yeah, so I tell you, the game of the weekend for me was the Seattle Dallas game,
And the Colts put it on them boys in Houston, didn't they?
Man, I'm telling
It
you,
was
I don't.
21-0 like that.
You gotta admit, you don't want to
Yeah, that's
see
why I
Indy.
stopped
You
watching.
don't want to right now.
Yeah,
You just, I don't know about that team, man.
I bet any money they beat the Chiefs next week.
Yeah, well, you have that theory late.
I looked
season
up the
Chiefs.
playoff records. Houston has choked more times than Kansas City.
Oh, wow.
And the other team that choked as much as Houston is Kansas City.
Oh.
So I guarantee the Colts probably win that game.
So
if they
then
don't
what
win,
do
it's
you?
gonna be
So
close.
what are you looking at for an AFC title game? Like what do you?
Colts versus the Patriots.
Yeah, and that's in Foxborough. So that's a tough ass. But I tell
Probably
you
get
what,
another Patriots Super Bowl again.
you don't want to see Indy right now. I just know that right now. You
They
don't
look
want
good.
Indy.
Yeah. Did you think the Colts look good? Did you watch it?
Oh yeah. No, I watched. I only watched the first part.
Yeah, putting it together, man. I'm telling you, that Indy.
Yeah,
to the latter part of the year, and now
he's doing really well. Man.
I just some part of me just loves it when J.J. Watt loses because I got to hear how much everyone blows that guy.
I'm different. I whenever Phillip Rivers loses, I'm just like
he was close almost.
I
They
know,
almost
but I
screwed
was
up.
hoping.
The Chargers are winning because of defense. They're not winning because of Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, but I
They-
hate
the
Phillip
Chargers
Rivers.
defense
I want him
owned
to
the
retire with
Ravens.
never. I want him to be the Dan Marino to never have any.
Oh, never Super
Yeah.
Bowls. Well, the Patriots are going to put them away next week anyway.
And then what do you got coming out of the NFC? So what is it shaping up there? So right now,
it looks like the Bears are about to score and take the lead against the
okay.
Eagles.
So
And this one's a 50-50 game.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys, I just can't buy into them with the XG.
I can't also
don't-
bind him
I'm
with
not
Jason Garrett on the helm. I don't know what it is. I
I'm
don't
not a fan
believe
of
in
the
him.
Cowboys,
Yeah,
haven't been, so.
I tell you what, the Rams don't want to see the Bears.
yeah. They're the Indy of the NFC. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
The Rams
Give that
probably
young
better play.
quarterback
But the
fits.
Rams lost to the Eagles too.
Yeah, they've been making some plays.
The Rams
back
lost
here.
to the Eagles and the Bears, so I don't know if they want to see anyone out of this game. To be honest with you,
So
I think the Saints are going to the Super Bowl.
do you think now? So
They got
by
home
your
field
prediction,
advantage.
you've got the Saints versus the Patriots.
Yep.
Who do you like in that matchup?
Saints.
Yeah,
you
me
you
too.
think the Saints? You think Drew Brees is going
I
to put it
just
together?
hate the Patriots.
Wow.
But no,
Yeah,
the
I think
Saints.
the Saints are good too.
Yeah.
That Rams team's really good, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that the
but I think
Patriot
the Rams
team of
got to go on the road to beat the Saints.
yeah,
And they
that's a
can't
tough
do it
ass
on
going to
the
the
road.
dome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just know right now you don't want that Indy team. You just
No,
don't want that
no,
Indy team
no, you
coming
don't.
in.
They look hot right now. And,
You realize just how good
Frank
Andrew
Wright
Luck
looks like
is.
he's 110 years
Yeah,
old.
doesn't he?
though.
He looks like he
He
should be
looks like
storytelling somewhere.
He
Weird.
looks like old Geppetto or something. I don't know what he looks like.
Where's Pinocchio at?
Andrew Luck. You put Andrew Luck back together.
he did. He was the boy.
Pinocchio and Geppetto. So there you go. Look at the Super Bowl and the playoffs. We'll look a little more at it next week with Gary. See what he thinks. But Bears and Eagles are both scary teams against the Rams, I think. But you never know. What do I know? I'm a fat guy sitting in Taylor.
Yeah.
So we do have a little news for you. Now, Randy, I know you're going to like this. I don't know about Charles. But January 18th, clear your schedules. Get ready to binge. The Punisher's back for season 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's good.
My favorite 2 shows on Netflix. Daredevil, already
Daredevil,
canceled,
Punisher.
and The
Yeah.
Punisher.
I was just
Daredevil
about to
canceled.
say.
Yeah, Daredevil has been canceled.
Randy doesn't listen to the podcast. Steve went out about it.
I physically told him it's canceled. I think he just forgot.
Randy doesn't
But
care.
Punisher will get canceled probably 2 weeks after it's released.
Probably.
Yeah, so basically they're going to release it, then pull it. They're
Yeah,
gonna say
that
they're
first
done.
season of Punisher was brutal and pretty good. If you like gun violence in America,
Yeah.
Oh,
watch The Punisher.
yeah.
It
Wow.
is- they don't pull no punches on that. It's a good show, and it was one of
It's
the
got old boy from Walking Dead, right,
Yes,
as
yes.
the Punisher.
and it's one of those few series on Netflix that didn't feel like there was a filler episode.
Oh, okay.
Like every
Just
episode
pushing
moved
the main
the story
the whole time,
forward.
yeah.
So that's not. And in this one, I think they're gonna do a lot.
Who is his main villain?
His
I always
name's
ask
Ji-
that
his
question.
name's Jigsaw, but he's not.
His face is made of pieces, right?
Well, at the end of the Punisher season 1, spoiler alert, Punisher takes his face and smashes into a mirror.
Okay.
And just rubs it back and forth.
Wow.
So in this one, he's all cut up and scarred up. That's where he gets the name Jigsaw.
okay.
He's an ex-military partner of Frank Castle.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of
So
the
you're a
season-
big fan of that Netflix show. You're
Oh,
a big,
yeah, that's my favorite too, Punisher and Daredevil.
So if you had to keep one, which one are you keeping?
Well, since
Sophie's
Daredevil-
choice.
Since Daredevil's already had 3 seasons, I'd take Punisher because it's only 2 seasons.
Oh, okay.
So at least I'd get a 3rd season already for that. So I would take Punisher. And I like that actor better.
Yeah,
Even though I
he's
do like
pretty good.
Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil. I do like...
But the dude from Walking Dead, I don't know his
yeah.
name. Yeah,
He's
no,
got that weird
regretfully.
Brooklyn, New York,
Yeah.
pissed off attitude all the time. He should be in a boxing movie. He's good. He'd make a good boxer, a good New York cop.
I know this
What's the
much. I
name of
know.
them combined? Are they going to make another one of those?
The Defenders?
Yeah, the
No, because they canceled all their shows.
Because they want that own service, man. Yeah.
Disney that big shadow of that Disney.
Yeah.
By the way, I did watch.
They talked about they're going to undercut the cost of Netflix too. Did you see that?
Oh, they are.
I heard
That's what I
They're
heard. It's
coming
supposed
hard.
to be cheaper than Netflix. I was like,
Ooh,
ooh.
that'll make good for my Disney stock. Since everything else seems to be slipping. I did watch a documentary on Walt Disney on Netflix too. By the way,
Yeah, I saw that.
pretty good.
Yeah,
The
and
one
that-
thing they covered, I was really surprised, was he anti-Semitic or racist? And they covered it in that documentary.
check that out.
And there was a black cartoonist that worked for him, knew him very closely. He said he's never racist and never Semitic. Because you know what happened? They were talking about in the documentary, Spike Lee came out in an interview and said, well, out off the top of his head, oh, yeah, Walt Disney's racist and anti-Semitic. So that's where
So
that
there was
rumor
no
started.
basis
No,
for
there
it
was
just
none.
being
He just-
extreme.
It's just Spike Lee looking for racists. You know how that goes.
So anyway, Punisher will be on January 18th.
Yeah, so Punisher, January 18th. Just clear your schedule, binge that all weekend. And some sad news this week.
Big news. Big
Well,
sad news.
Randy did not know who Super Dave Osborne
You don't
was.
know who Super Dave is?
I wasn't really
Wow.
familiar with them. No.
Yeah, it was in 19.
What was
we
the
looked it
what was
up
the guy with the
afterwards.
camera? Was his name Fuji? Yeah, that walked around all the time.
I looked up some YouTube clips. They
Oh,
always
it's
have that, like,
really
that
funny.
dummy,
I think it's because our dad was way into
Yeah.
Super Dave Osborne, man.
Yeah.
A lot more people know him from Curb Your Enthusiasm, I guess. Is
Yeah,
the
I don't think he's watched that either.
Oh,
I have.
okay.
That's a great show.
Yeah, I know a lot of
He-
people
he
love
won't-
that,
he
but
won't be
I love
back there.
Super Dave. I have an affinity for. He was like a defunct like Daredevil that did a bunch of terrible things, and it was just
Yeah.
funny. Yeah,
Yeah, real name Bob Einstein or Einstein. I'm not sure how
I'm
you
not
pronounce
sure
that.
either.
And then of course the one, you know something, brother, Mean Gene.
Yeah.
Mean Gene.
I didn't
Yeah, I
know.
remember Mean Gene.
Did you know that Jesse Ventura gave him the Mean Gene moniker? I didn't know
No,
that.
I
didn't
yeah,
know that.
I guess in an
No.
interview he said Mean Gene, and it just stuck. I was like, wow, that's pretty
Weird
cool.
thing is they were both 76 years old. Right?
Yeah.
Right
There's
on the number.
3 of them that were. Another guy died. At
Yeah. I
76.
don't, who was the other guy? I can't remember the other
I'm trying to
guy.
think of who that was.
Gary posted it.
R.I.P. Whoever that is.
Yeah. Wasn't super popular, but
But Mean Gene's a big deal, man. If you're a kid
Yeah.
of the '80s at WWF and stuff like that,
yeah.
Mean Gene was huge.
Yeah, he
I didn't know
interviewed
Mean Gene
everyone.
was a wrestler back in the day. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
probably in like the
factoid.
60s.
Yeah.
When- it is funny, like some of them that were like Bobby the Brain Heenan was actually a wrestler,
Oh wow.
and he doesn't have a muscle on
And
his
they
body.
just kind of like veer towards manager.
yeah. So there's the news for the week, and finally, one last rant. Charles, you wanted to say something about cord cutting?
Yeah, so again, I'm on a cord cutting situation because I'm that annoying guy who's always talking about it. But one of the things that drives me nuts, and since we got back in the living room, the Matrix Studios were piecing it back together, and I've got a pretty
With
crazy
the sauna.
What's that?
With the sauna.
Yeah, with a sauna, piecing it back together. I've got a pretty crazy 5.1 setup in the front living room and all this kind of stuff, and I like to listen to stuff kind of loud. Well, on these services that I have, so I got DirecTVnow, and then the volumes are all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, they
god,
are,
it's just
for
killing
sure.
me, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like ESPN, for example, apparently ESPN has baked in in like their, and I'm sure there's like a format or whatever, in their commercial formats, there must be a local commercial block that they sell. So like VR Metro would be in there. Well, when you watch their stream, that goes into like a generic commercial. Okay, and that generic commercial happens to be that American Football Alliance all the time. I got Troy Polamalu screaming at me because the volume goes up like 10 decibels. So like it's like normal, and then bam, here comes the American Football Alliance, like super loud, and Apple TVs and stuff have these volume limiters built into them. But I always feel
if they had a limiter in there.
Yeah, but it steps on the volume so much that, like, I guess I'm just too deaf to deal with it, because then I'm, like, in the opposite direction of, like, I can't hear. It's one of those things where, like, if you're in the same app, you figure that they would kind of, like, balance the levels to be... Sure. Oh, it drives me nuts. It's one of those annoying things.
That's something they've never cured. I mean, that stuff was happening in the 90s with the volume.
Yeah.
No one can figure out the secret sauce.
Oh, my God. And in my living room, it's atrocious. You get that 5.1, and I already like to shake the walls. And, oh, my God, we bounce the fillings out of your mouth. It's crazy. So, yeah, just fix your volume is all I ask there. You know, as our volume on this podcast is probably all over the place.
Pretty much. You're about us. So, there you go. That's going to wrap us up for this week. I'd like to thank Randy, the businessman of Westland, Johnston.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys. It's fun.
Hey.
So
and plug that VR Metro while you're on
here.
Yes,
VRMetro.com. Come
for
on down.
For all your web design needs,
734-729-7082. Got that number memorized.
Plug it away.
Give us a call. We can help you with your iPhones, your Samsung TVs.
Yeah, we do all kinds of maintenance.
Just a random one. My father-in-law calls me today. All right, he's like, "Hey, Mr. Steve. Hey, how you doing? Why you calling me?"
How's his knee? Is it purple still?
No, he's doing good. He's good. My cable went out. I'm like, did it say AT&T on Steve's line? When he has cable problems, he calls me every time. It's like,
is he assuming it's like in his house and like, he got something janky?
When's the last time you see me working on a cable box?
Yeah, I was gonna say, wow.
So I get those calls all the time. He's like, well, they want to charge me $100. I'll go pay the $100. Because I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
People don't like that answer, man. People don't like. I had to go over to my dog sitter's house, and she was having a dryer hooked up, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll help you out," you know. She had like this old school, like you have that terrible copper line I told you a while ago to get rid of.
Yeah, I still haven't.
Good job. And, so anyway, we tried to hook it back up, and it started leaking. So we went to Home Depot, and the guy's like, "That's against code. You can't." So I told her, I'm like, "Look, Angie, I'm like, you got to pay someone to come in here and put some new piping in." They just don't like that answer. No. They don't like, well, why can't you do it? And I'm like, well, not whatever, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I got to go talk to Randy and Steve on a podcast. I got things I got to do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a busy guy. And the same thing goes for you. So when you told him to call it out, he was probably like, ugh.
Yeah, every time. I mean, he calls me about once every 3 months. They screw something up with his cable, and he calls me. It's like, well, man, you got to call the number. I don't know. Like, he'll call me about, like, the price of the bill. It's like, I can't adjust it for you.
Hold on. You should mess with him. Hold on. Let me log into your account. What's your account number? Just
it's like, you know what? Your cable bill's now $65. There you go.
Just pay the $65. And he'd be like, well, Steve told me it's only $65 now.
Well, Steve told you.
It's crazy.
So, again,
VR Metro for all your web design needs. Call Steve if your AT&T goes out.
And then next week we're gonna have Gary Bolson on from Men on the Move.
Yeah, who you know through VR Metro.
Yes, another big Westland guy.
God,
he has a lot
Westland.
of connections. He might be bigger in Westland than Randy.
Whoa,
he is definitely. He's 20 years on the board. He's been
on the board of like the city board of Westland.
Well, on the Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce.
But he's also the Rotary guy of the state of Michigan.
He volunteers
he's
for a lot of stuff.
He's way into it.
He's into everything.
He's got tax shelters galore. We gotta have a conversation with this. Yeah,
he's a fun guy.
He is fun. He's nice.
Especially when he eats cricket flour next week.
Oh, that sounds funny. I'd love to see his face on that one.
And then Scott Florian, I think his last name's Florian from
the Float Institute
got
coming
a lot
weeks.
of questions for him.
And if you got any question about your holistic kind of health care or well-being,
send us some
we definitely have gone and done some things, so we'll have conversations and stuff. And he found us and thought that what we talk about is something he's into. So
yeah, this should be fun. So Again, catch us on fatguyslittlepodcast.com, Google Play, Apple
Powered
iTunes.
by VR Metro.
Powered by VR Metro.
Exactly.
I do have our logo on our website
Oh,
as a
yeah.
sponsor.
Yeah.
So feel free to give us extra money.
Randy says thank you and keeps it moving.
Yeah. Move along.
And you can catch us on Google Home and Alexa and all
Alexas,
that
yeah.
good stuff. So until next time, it's Fat Guys on the Podcast. This is Steve and
Charles.
and catch you next time.